The following podcast may contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. Autobots suck ass.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Movie podcast, where your heroes from your childhood will murder everyone in cold blood. Everyone. It's so great.
No, it's not.
I'm your host, Rob. My friends are joining me, probably for the last time. Starting on my left.
The disgruntled ghost of Ironhide.
Jazz is back from the dead, baby.
A shockwave that looks nothing like he did in the comics. Will.
A sound wave that looks nothing like he did in the show. Joe.
Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Will, I have to say, though,
Transformers from the dead.
you really are the brains of this operation.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I just double zinged you.
Yeah,
You don't even know it.
this is definitely the last episode.
Double sing me?
Guys, we watched Transformers Drac of the Mun because I failed miserably in the last last recording.
So spoiler, we already know this is a failure, so don't expect raving reviews on this.
Yeah.
Just,
You know what you're coming in.
someone might cry today, just so you know. Like,
If y'all want to skip to the end just to hear our final thoughts.
what the next movie's gonna be.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead.
So, Transformers Dark of the Moon. Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen this movie before? And if so, what did you think of it back then?
I saw this movie before. I hated it then. I hate it now. I hate it with every fiber of my being.
So, when Michael Bay was first announced to do the Transformers, were you guys excited, or did you
No.
know off the bat
No.
everything? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember the disappointment
Yeah.
on Rob and Tony's face.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll maybe, we'll touch on that, I guess, a little bit
There was
more
still
as
a
we-
twinge of hope.
as we progress. But yeah, I mean, what was it, just after Pearl
Look at the
Harbor,
toys, that's why.
basically?
No, like, I can't think of, other than maybe The Rock, I can't think of anything he's done where I've been like, oh yeah, that's good.
Bad Boys back
The
in the
first
day,
Bad Boys
I
was-
used to
yeah.
be
Even
like...
then, though, I was like...
I know that doesn't hold up, but I think when I saw it in the 90s, I was like, that was all right.
Come on, guys, the guy gets shot to the ass. You get butt bullet cam.
But even if you were like, okay, that's entertaining, it's not a good movie.
All right, Brian.
I've never seen this movie before. This is my first time, and
He thought it was great.
I'm not happy about it.
Okay, Will,
I saw this movie once before in theaters. There was this girl I was kind of courting for a bit, who for some reason
5 years old, huh?
really loving the Transformers, so we would go see those in theater. And
That should have been a red flag.
Did you marry her?
fuck no. I was young and led by not my brain. I'll say that.
All right.
So you'd say you were young, dumb, and full of
Shut up. Okay.
He is still two of those things.
That's right.
And still relatively young. Joe, did you ever see
Compared to
this
all you
movie?
guys.
So, once upon a time, there was these two brothers, Rob and Tony, who were...
Who are now cacodemons.
excited about seeing these Transformers. You know, they knew it wasn't going to be good, but they thought it would be okay. So they dragged me to a theater. I believe we were listening to the Transformers 1986 movie soundtrack mixed in with the Team America World Police soundtrack, which was pretty damn kick-ass.
I mean,
and fuck yeah! And we saw Transformers 1 in the theater. And I was like, that sucked, but you know, there's some easy fixes that could be made. So I came back with them for Transformers 2.
which I
A year or two
apologized
later.
for.
And that I was like, never again. We're done.
I can't
That
believe
might have been one of the
I
worst.
can't believe I brought Rashida to that.
Then
Oh, fuck.
It's like a girlfriend.
Was I with y'all for that?
I don't know. I thought so.
I may have been.
That one, if I remember right, like the end, it was sort of just like when you turn the lights on and cockroaches scatter. We all just blew out of the theater. Like, let's get the fuck out. But that shortly after that too, Michael Bay said something along the lines of like, "It doesn't matter about anyone's feedback. You're all going to see my movies anyway." And I was like, "Well, I'm not going to." And I have not gone to the movies to watch a Michael Bay film since. So I vowed to myself that I would not watch any other movies from the Transformers franchise unless they came up in this podcast. Then fucking Rob rolled a 1 and picked this, and that's why I'm here today. That's so no, I saw it today.
Okay.
I got a bag lady who's entered the studio.
Yeah, did I see this one in theaters? I must have seen it in theaters. Like, I know
Yes, you did.
Okay, I don't like because I have not seen all of them in theaters. You might as well. It's the most satisfying sound in the world. But unfortunately, I'm of the opinion that this is probably outside of the first one.
And Bumblebee.
I don't count
No,
Bumblebee.
that's
Bumblebee's a
separate.
whole
That's
separate thing.
Okay.
That is
Sort of.
purely Michael Bay.
I did see that in the theater.
Yeah,
This-
that was fun.
This one might be the second best one.
You think
That's
the
not
first
saying a
one
lot.
is the best
It's
one?
not saying a lot, huh?
We'll
Think the
talk.
first one is the best one?
Yeah, out of the.
We'll talk about this later
Out of the turd sandwich and the giant
Well,
douche.
when we get to our own individual reviews.
Well, I will say off the bat, he's probably right, but that's the problem of this is horrible.
Yes. Oh, they're all terrible.
Others just are worse.
The first one is like it's bad, but it's watchable. It's not an unholy. Like I don't.
I don't
wanna
think it's
kill
2. I don't
myself
think it's
on
2
a-
hours 45
It's
minutes like this one
definitely-
was.
I mean, it's long.
It's over 2 hours.
It's like any.
Well, I
every
think
time,
each one gets longer than the next one.
yes.
Yeah, every time I've seen it, I'm like, how is it this long? Like it's long because there's parts you just forget happen because there are so many parts in all of these movies that just have nothing to do with anything.
Most of the parts in all these movies.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Well, here's the problem though. Like with all of these, with every movie they improve something, and then they make everything around it that much worse. So, like, the first one of its biggest problems is we have tons of pointless human characters that have way too much screen time that no one could possibly care about. They slowly start working away from that, but then, like, the characters we do focus on suck way more, and it's just, I can't even fathom how you could screw things up as badly as these movies are.
No,
We
this
haven't
third one,
even talked about the movie yet.
it don't matter. This is the third one I've seen so far, Tony. And I think what you might be confusing is they didn't move away from the human characters. They just added more scenes without humans in it.
right,
So they keep getting longer and longer and longer.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
you're
Adding
probably
more fucking
right.
scenes.
Because this one added Tyrese. This one added fucking Patrick Dempsey.
No, Tyrese.
No, Tyrese has been there.
Well, I
since
know,
the beginning.
I know, but like he has his own like.
Third act show up in this.
Yeah,
there
he showed up in the
are,
third
like,
act.
There
He
are
should
like
not have
20
been there.
characters that legit don't show up until 2 hours into the
Fucking
movie.
Alan Tudyk is a German super spy.
But yeah,
Dutch.
Dutch, yeah.
I do no, because I do kind of feel like in the first one, basically all those soldiers that show up at the end for some reason would have had subplots that we would have had to follow and names and the whole thing. Whereas in this one, they just show up. So I don't know which one's better.
They don't
at
even
that
name the
rate.
Transformers.
No, they don't.
Oh, so that's our history with this movie.
No, keep it rolling, whatever.
No, this is what this
Yeah,
episode
we
should
haven't
be.
been professional up till now. Why
No,
start?
I'm not even trying to like get
With
professional.
this.
I was just legit decided.
This is one of the few times where the audience already knows that we hate it going into it.
This
Like,
is true.
just so
You're
that-
very true. You want to just go into the cast real quick?
No.
All right.
Shia
I mean,
LaBeouf
I got it
was-
queued up, but why don't we do the
Has been
You
the
got some
wannabes
facts
and
about
never
this
was.
movie?
Transformers: Dark of the Moon came out in 2011, directed by Michael Bay. Blah blah blah. We've been going over all that shit. Yeah, fucking. I
Spielberg, for whatever reason, slaps his name on the executive producer.
Spielberg's involved in some capacity, and he fired Megan Fox for calling Michael Bay a Nazi. So that's why she's not in this.
That was a Spielberg decision?
That was Spielberg's doing, yeah.
Wonder
Not
why that
Michael
was.
Bay, which is
Why
surprising.
would Spielberg be touchy about Nazis?
Okay. Michael Bay swore that the twins, Skids and Mudflap, would not be in this movie, and even promised $25,000 if anyone spotted them, which, fuck you, people spotted them. They are in, I think, only in car form, but they're there. Because fucking why?
Why would he do that? Like
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are they? So they're in the second one. They're like the.
The annoying
They're a major part.
stereotype one.
Oh yeah.
yes.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, in this one, like when they first
Yes,
come
I know
into
what you
the
meant now.
nest base or whatever, I guess if you like look towards the back, the cars are there, not like the CGI or anything. Like they didn't go that far, but I think he was like, until people were like, "This is terrible, please don't do this racist shit," and then he had to promise not to have them in there. They were supposed to be.
Like, okay,
So-
I'll do other.
So they
racist
probably
shit.
just did not finish taking them out of the film.
Yeah, basically.
They
Like
missed
that-
a couple frames.
Yeah, that one scene we already shot. We forgot the cars were in the back.
They were like, which European stereotypes are okay to make? Scottish people, done.
Yeah.
Slide
Dutch.
them in there. And the Dutch.
Speaking of, apparently Sentinel Prime was originally supposed to be played by Sir
Connery.
Sean Connery,
Nice.
who turned the movie down. Surprise, surprise.
So would they have still had all of those Star Trek references and lines in it? If
No, but I bet that's why towards the end he gets very close to saying there can only be one.
Well,
Guarantee it.
he straight up
says it, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he does say that.
I think it's a little off. Like on this planet, there will only be one.
I am the last one.
I'm a Spanish guy, but I still sound
Oh,
Scottish.
He's what is he? Spanish, Egyptian?
Yes, exactly.
So you want to guess
Ramirez.
how much money they spent?
Oh God, all of it.
Too much.
This
all
had
of
to
it.
be a freaking $170 million project.
Like 3 Marvels. I'd say 250.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 225.
Yeah, I was gonna just put 200 out there.
Was it?
He said 170.
170.
170.
I have to give it to Brian. It was 195.
Really? Wow. All right.
A little under what you thought, but still way
Still
too
a lot,
much.
yeah.
I want to guess how much it made.
I think this was the highest grossing one.
600 million.
I know they all broke like the 500s, right? So 700 million.
I'm gonna say $1 billion.
I'm just gonna say 650.
600.
All right, it was just a little over $1 billion.
Fucking hell.
Wow,
Fuck.
Yeah.
that's like disappointing.
It just makes your heart break.
Like,
Well, yeah,
just-
that's what hurts
Yeah,
about these
it's
movies.
hard to imagine. That's a lot.
Because you look at that and you're like, this is an unequivocal bomb. And then you're like, nope.
this movie is so bad.
Well, not just that, but like, all I can think is, I don't get paid nearly that much, and if I put in a performance like anybody that was involved in this, I'd be fired. Mm-hmm. So how is this happening?
And that's like worldwide.
Yeah, that's worldwide. So I mean, that is, well, you know, of course, it was huge in China because we got that scene of Kim Jong, or not Kim Jong. What's his name drinking the milk? Like whatever.
Kin
I
Jong.
think that's
Kenjong.
what did it. That's what brought in the Chinese audience.
No, I think
Drinking a milk carton.
what did then, Rob? What was it?
You know what the worst part is? That milk is the only thing that has proper continuity in the series.
That's true.
All right. I'm going to start saying actors' names. You guys tell me when to stop. So
Tell me when you get to a real actor.
yeah. So we have this movie stars Shia LaBeouf as Sam Witwicky, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley as Carly, Josh Duhamel as Colonel Lennox, John Turturro as Agent Simmons,
Maybe.
Tyrese Gibson as Epps, Patrick Dempsey as Dylan, you son of a bitch, Frances McDormand
There
as
you go.
Nearing. All right. You don't want to talk about John Malkovich in this movie for no fucking reason.
No.
he had a good time. He had fun though. Like
Yeah.
that was
Oh, yeah.
that's what this is about.
And
I will give a shout out to Alan Tudyk because
Yeah.
I always
Yeah,
shout
that's
out
fair.
the Firefly cast, but goddamn.
I was also going to say, Alan Tudyk, he did something. He was having a good time too, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But
John Malkovich didn't make enough money for an addition to his house. He just had some shit he needed a few $million for.
I think he just had a weekend off and said, "Fuck it."
Hey, I'm here. I'm here in LA.
What am I
on
doing?
studio.
I think he went in that floor that puts him inside his own head, and the whole time everyone was just saying, Malkovich! That was about how he was acting.
Yeah.
Was this the last thing Leonard Nimoy ever did?
I think no.
No, it's got to be one of the Star Trek movies, right? One of the
Okay.
newer ones.
Into
One of the
darkness.
J.J. Abrams.
maybe?
Wait, was he the voice of Sentinel?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was trying to place it and I couldn't place it. Like,
Oh yeah.
okay.
But yeah, that's why when he said the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, I said fuck you because this movie's horrible.
And then earlier, Wheelie is watching Star Trek, and he's like, "Oh, it's that episode where Spock goes crazy."
He said that. I missed that totally.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Poor shadowing.
All right.
So we start on Cybertron, this movie. Well, Cybertron, which is apparently the honeycomb hideout.
Yeah, hexagonal Cybertron.
Do all of them start with some sort of shitty prologue?
Yeah. So, like, this
so.
planet is a series of tubes.
Yep.
There's no, like, land anywhere, so I'm like, what are you guys fighting over?
You have
This
this
sucks.
giant planet that's all just a hollow honeycombed core.
Yeah.
This again. I mean, the over
planet
design.
compresses well.
The over design of this whole franchise. I do wonder: is this because it's been ravaged by war? Or was this just always what it looked like? I don't know.
I just want to pause you for a minute, Tony. The Star Crunch inside the peanut butter cookie sandwich
Yeah.
is fucking amazing.
Yo, those peanut butter cookie sandwiches are bringing the thunder today. So I didn't make it that far before my morale collapsed. Now, obviously,
Fair enough.
there's a morale drop because you realize you're watching a
As soon
Transformers
as you see,
movie.
as soon as you hear those,
Well, that's
Paramount
exactly.
stars.
It was the
going
dubstepped Paramount stars,
Okay.
and then the lens flares on the first block of text that came up. That 1-2 combinate morale completely collapsed.
So roughly 5 seconds.
Yeah,
into this movie.
within seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to sum up the first half hour of this movie real quick. Transformers left Cybertron. The ship kind of exploded and got sent to the moon, crashed into the moon in the 60s. The reason why the U.S. went to the moon was because they realized something landed on the moon and wanted to see what the fuck it was. We get to the moon. The astronauts land on the moon. They see this fucking Transformer shit. They go, "Oh, cool." And now it's present day. That's the first half hour of the movie.
So, few things I have to address.
Well, wait, if I could just start with, it was a big deal. We go to the moon, find out Transformers crash landed there, despite the fact that no one apparently realized they had a whole sun killer base under the pyramids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I guess we're still not doing anything about.
So, the ship's on the dark side of the moon. That's why nobody can see it, is the logic of this film. Apollo 11, which lands on the moon, or I'm sorry, I'm getting the Apollo missions wrong, but whatever Apollo mission lands on the moon, within 21 minutes, they walk to the ship on the dark side of the moon. It's like,
Well, you see, gravity's a lot. Like,
yeah, you can
know,
walk real fast.
You bounce.
Yeah, you just bounce along.
Bounce around like a bounce house.
Just do that.
We got to throw
Minecraft.
Chernobyl in here too, because a piece from that ship, I guess the Russians brought back with unmanned Russian robots, and that they were using that in Chernobyl, and that's why it blew up.
Oh, yeah, and also
Because the U.S. just left it there, apparently.
Yeah,
we use technology not even as good as the Face app to put JFK in a
Yeah.
scene.
yeah.
Holy
Forrest Gump,
crap.
that was not a good JFK.
But I love how they use like actors that look relatively like, Robert McNamara and Jackie O, but then for some reason it's just like a CGI monster of JFK.
Yo, it's so bad. Like,
He looks like a Force Ghost.
it's like the Mad TV logo, that person's face who tried to make a JFK face, just kind of put on something.
Oh, Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah, that's how it looked. Like it wasn't close.
So, yeah, I see what they were trying to do,
It's going to be okay.
but so
it's
let me tell you. Let me explain the title card sequence to this movie, because
All right, cracking open this.
you see Sentinel Prime, who you're going to find out about him later. turn on right as the astronauts leave, and it crash zooms on his eye, and it is an
"Hello,
overcomplicated
Smithers."
mess of just gears and cogs and whatnots flying across the screen. Then boom, title card in your face. Then boom, woman's ass. And you're like,
That's Michael Bay, yeah.
Yeah. Which the encapsulation of him.
I
right
also
there.
brought this up while watching this, but I don't know how any of them could get on this ship and be like, they're like robotic beings on it. Because if
Yep.
I look at that, watching this, looking at
Yep.
that, I just thought all of that was spaceship debris.
Yeah.
I could not tell those were things.
Yep.
Even if they were alive, I'm not sure I could tell the people from the ship. Mm-hmm. So,
I would have no indication that they would be intelligent. I think maybe those are just robots.
yeah. I wouldn't
Anyway.
even tell they were I would just think like, oh, that used to be a chair till it hit the moon. I don't know.
Space chair.
All right, so long story short, Sam Witwicky it does not need to be in this film at all. Literally, if you remove him from this film, it really does not change anything in the grand scheme of things.
It does actually.
Well,
it
they're just
cuts the film by
Yeah.
about an hour and 45 minutes.
Makes it a tiny bit more watchable.
There's a few things that he discovers in the plot that honestly, like Dutch and Samson could have just found out on his own. And the woman's ass, the eye candy just to be there, just to be eye candy actually contributes more in this film. And he's down on his luck. He's feeling sad. He doesn't have a job. He's got this rich girlfriend for whatever reason. He has 2 Autobot refugees living in his house. I don't know their names. One of them,
Wheelie and Brains.
one of them, I just named Beavisbot because, like, when I first saw him, I'm like, are they channeling Beavis?
He does indeed
I'm
need
guessing
TP
that'd be
for his
Wheelie?
bunghole.
Yeah, because she's like, tell that thing to get out of my underwear drawer, and he's like, I'm doing research. And you're like, this Beavis.
And by that I mean masturbating.
Yeah,
He's also constantly smoking for some reason.
because that's what you do when you're a robot.
And by the way, folks, I don't mean smoking a cigarette. I mean just smoke is coming out of him
Off of his
somewhere.
tendrils.
Is it his tendrils?
I think so.
I don't know.
Because he has tendrils. Oh, fuck.
So, long story short, Sam feels inadequate.
And he is.
Yeah. His girlfriend's like, I'm going off to work. And he's like, oh, my parents are here. And you're like, fuck, I forgot he has parents.
I forgot about those assholes.
They're never funny. It's always sucks.
And it's like I remember in the first movie, there's like a couple masturbation jokes.
Yeah.
And then in this one, she like brings up the fact that maybe her son has a large penis for getting all these hot women. And I'm just like,
He's got to find the man in the boat. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I will say this is the first time, at least, I could understand the context of that, because I do question how Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf went from Megan Fox to this girl, because that's just ridiculous.
We do see that she was some sort of diplomat working at an embassy and that Shia LaBeouf won the Medal of Honor from President Obama.
fake ass Obama.
Yeah.
Fake ass Obama.
Fobama.
Yeah, from
Like the actor that
broke ass Obama.
the actor that they got to play Obama had like a goatee. He was way taller, way darker,
Way younger.
Yeah, afro picking his hair. It was no good.
So he's got some sort of like jalopy Dachshund car or whatever, and he tries to get that going, and it cuts to the Autobots who are now just committing espionage, I guess.
Right.
War crimes.
It just says illegal nuclear site.
Middle East.
That's where it is. Yeah, the illegal nuclear site.
I think we need to send them to deal with the Taliban.
For
Yeah, which
Or maybe they are the Taliban?
Just in the 2011 line of Chevy cars.
Yeah, and I don't understand. This roadblock lets them in. They seem to lift the gates to let them in, and then they immediately turn around and murder them all.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
So I understand that one of the appeals to this movie to some people is some people that really like cars. These movies have what I am told are really nice cars. I don't give a shit about cars, so I don't
See
know.
them for 10 seconds.
But it strikes me like,
Yeah, that's
these
one thing
are-
I will give this movie. It has some nice car shots.
I guess,
They
but,
don't
like,
utilize them enough.
yeah.
But, you know.
but they're robots in disguise, and they pick the flashiest fucking look at me cars.
Yep.
They're like, I don't know, I don't get it. But anyway,
I think you do. Just consider who's behind the camera.
Yeah. No, I understand why.
Okay. All right.
I'm more.
Yeah, he means within the context of the film.
But
Yeah.
I mean, to intimate that there is any thought put behind anything that happens here
You are correct, sir.
So
outside of a cash grab is
now, Optimus Prime is off at Chernobyl, and they're in the town of Pripyat, and there's some Russian guy there that he's real nervous about something, and he's with like Colonel whatever the guy's Colonel Lennox, Annie Lennox, and they go into Chernobyl. There's some sort of object there they're trying to grab when, out of nowhere, snatch grab, this big-ass boar worm comes out of the ground, and it's tearing things up, and it's a Michael Bay ugly thing, but I thought this at least looked cool, better than most generic Decepticon crap that we get. So
it just looked more of the same to me.
Yeah. I think
well, it's the same style, but at least like I thought the idea of the worm was different.
Okay.
Well, this is one of the few times where like it's not supposed to look like anything.
Yeah.
So like it's not trying to fit into some mold. It is its own thing.
Yeah.
So you're not like, oh, it looks weird. Like, no, this is just what I'm seeing. Like
That's exactly like it's not more of the same because the Decepticons you can't tell who any of them are
at all.
Yeah.
at all because they're all just gray and they're all ugly and yeah, so like one of them shows up. They don't speak in any, they speak in Cybertronian language. And so Optimus Prime's like, that's Shockwave. And I think I said, no, that's not.
And we're like, prove that.
Yeah.
I think we're busy going, why does he have a ringworm? Like, where is this thing coming out of him from?
It's his dick.
Yeah, he just, Dune style, he put the thumpers down and rode that thing.
Oh.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. That thing continues to take people by surprise throughout the film, and it's like you wouldn't know where that's going.
Yeah, it
like
can't be quiet.
Seismographs everywhere would be finding that thing. But
Matthew Broderick's checking for him right now.
yeah.
I will say, this is with like you were talking about with the worm. The one time some of this way over designed stuff somewhat works.
Yeah.
Just because of what it's supposed to be, because you have a lot of spinning parts and everything, and okay, whatever. But that's also, I will say, why I am somewhat glad that they picked the flashiest cars.
Yeah.
Because if one of them, Dino, I guess, wasn't bright red, I would not be able to tell him from anybody else.
I honestly did not know that was his name.
They say it once.
Yep.
Yes.
Like
Well, everyone's character
an
is-
hour into the movie, they say it.
yeah, other than Sam and Carly and Dylan, you get just their name once.
Yeah.
and
That's
you
it.
better hope you got it.
And it's not even like it's once at the beginning of the movie. It's just once somewhere.
Somewhere randomly.
Oh yeah, they're here and doing things for many minutes before you get any information. as to
Some
why
right
they're
away
here.
get names, but that's the last time you'll hear them. Others, they'll be on screen for 20 minutes before you get it. And some won't. You won't hear their name until someone screams after them when they got shot in the face. So
Like someone else
Whatever.
said the name, but like they're not in the scene anymore, so you can't tell what they were talking about to begin with.
yeah, like we got that thing from Jazzer Bob, and you're like, who the hell was? Okay, wait, no, they got it from that.
that was
robot
Jazzer Bob?
20
I thought the
minutes
other
ago.
one was
Okay,
Jazzer
that
Bob.
must be Jazzer Bob.
All right.
So here's an illustration of that problem.
We're on a podcast; they can't see.
From
Oh, sorry.
numerous times that I've asked the Etruria brothers here,
Scooter and Skeeter.
Scooter and Skeeter, Shockwave, from what I understand, is a scientist that stays on Cybertron, and he's sort of like he's
like
like
the-
he's
like the Mingla.
Megatron's tech guy, whatever.
Yeah.
So in this one, he's his worm wrangler.
He's like his Mengele.
Yeah. So both him and Soundwave are gray and fairly similar looking. The only difference I can really tell is Shockwave has one eye.
Yes.
And so in this scene, you see that Shockwave has this boar worm as his buddy, and then Razorbeak shows up and kills this like shifty looking Russian guy for
Laserbeak.
reasons. Laserbeak.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
It does.
I thought he was. This whole time I thought Soundwave's guy was Razorbeak. But anyway, Laserbeak. That makes more sense.
Razor Clan.
Laserbeak works for Soundwave. Soundwave and Shockwave, you perpetually, throughout my whole childhood, I would always get those people mixed. And the only way I knew them apart is I'm like, Soundwave's a boombox, Shockwave's a cannon or something.
Yeah.
This one, they're just like, they're both just gray lumps.
Wait. Wait. Soundwave was in this one?
Yeah. Yes, he was.
That was not scripted, folks. What's funny though?
So they're point proven.
Yes.
Because I'm like, Laserbeak's here, but there's no Soundwave. Like, I'm like,
I also like.
All right, so
Somehow you tuned out for like the 20 minutes we were talking about how he couldn't tell the difference between Shockwave and Soundwave in this movie.
I'm
he's listening
like
to
other
it.
movies to this movie. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
so
no.
Soundwave is the gray lump that is Carly's car.
Yep.
He's the one that shoots Q in the freaking head.
okay.
Yeah, basically it is. If you think you're seeing the same Transformer, but one has two eyes, that's Soundwave. If you see the same Transformer, but has one eye, that's Shockwave.
And
Okay.
Soundwave occasionally says words in English.
Yeah.
Because he's the only sad sucker that actually they got Frank Welker to come and voice again.
So,
Oh, fuck.
all right. Back at we
Still
go
on
to
Joe's first page of notes.
yeah, we go on back to Nest headquarters, and we see that like Nest is now trying to like they've the world's changed. They know about Transformers. They have energon detectors now. They have they're working with the Autobots to like train on ways to fight Transformers and
And
stuff.
for those of you out there, NEST stands for New England Sex Transformers, which
Yeah.
I'm a member of.
So like Nambla? Is that what
Yeah.
Yeah, but for Transformers.
Rob is transforming before
I'm transitioning to an Optimus Prime.
They're like, fuck it, bring out Buzz Aldrin, go America.
So like this part of the movie just weirds me out because like I'm not sure how many years it's been since the last movie happened or whatever. But like, wouldn't you want to make their tech work better for humans? Like the technology they have, they're interstellar. Their Wi-Fi communication is like the communication is out of this world. Like literally, like it's ridiculous. The ability to transform, objects from one shape to another shape can be like. So wouldn't they like work that tech into like their stuff?
So they
But they didn't.
discussed that in 2, if I remember right, because they're very hesitant to share their technology with humans because they can't fully trust them.
And then in later movies, they do start doing just that. And,
Although-
it's awful.
Yes.
I mean, even
yes
for, like,
to all of that.
for like
Mark Wahlberg.
a better weapon to fight Decepticons.
Well, but they got the grappler and the
Yes.
boomstick.
Here's part of the problem. If you're using any intelligence to try and plot things out with this has to be at least 4 years since the last movie. Since in the last movie, Sam Witwicky was going off to college for the first time, and this one he's graduated, presumably at least a 4-year college.
You think so?
He's got
Remember, didn't he have the guy from Superstore as his partner in that one?
Yeah, kitten calendar.
None of that guy.
I don't
But-
understand what's happening.
It does nothing.
I
Nothing.
mean,
None of it matters.
That's par for the course, Jeff.
So we're talking probably at least 4 years. And again, the last movie they said they can't really share their technology. They're hesitant to do it, whatever. So presumably it took them this long for this Q guy to show up, I guess, out of Optimus's ass. I don't know.
No, he flew down on a ship, or he was a meteor.
Mary Poppins
or,
style on an umbrella.
And after all this time,
y'all.
all he could give them is grappling hooks and jazz feet that explode when you stab them into something.
So I understand the
I don't know
hesitancy.
why they also are like, hey, can you share your technology with us? And Optimus was like, we don't trust you. And they're like, okay, we're just going to grab Megatron's body and try and figure shit out.
Like we have cartridges around.
That does happen, but not for another 5 movies.
So I'm just on an even more basic level,
I feel
right?
like-
In the first movie, they establish that a 40mm grenade launcher with sabot rounds is effective enough to kill a Decepticon as long as you shoot in the joints, right? And Colonel Lennox kills a Decepticon by fucking sliding off a motorcycle, but whatever. But they still just carry the same assault rifles that have no effect on the Decepticons.
At one point, the guy hands Sam Witwicky a handgun.
A handgun, yeah.
I think that's just he's
So-
implying that Sam should shoot himself.
Only one. He's like, there's only one. There's two bullets, one for you and one for Carly.
If you get, if you get yourself
Behind
into
enemy
trouble
lines.
and you're surrounded,
No, there's
You know
only
what to do.
there's only one bullet.
It's just-
be a man, son.
Make some attempt, even just to use some pieces of military hardware that already exist that seem to be at least partially effective. Just give you guys that. Why are they still carrying just assault rifles?
well, here's the other problem with that. Because as we find out in this movie, it took them 2 other movies of whatever length, possibly 4 years while I was in college, and 2 hours of this movie before one of them realizes, oh, we can shoot them in the eye,
Yeah.
and then they can't see.
Correct. All right.
Fuck them.
Long story short, so you got fucking Buzz Aldrin. He's like, check it out, on the moon. We went up there and, we brought some shit down from a Transformer ship. And
Saw some
Poor
shit,
man.
man. Saw some shit.
Optimus
some stuff.
Prime is like, yo, I've been looking for that forever. Thanks for telling me now, fuckers. Let's go to the moon.
Now I'm mad.
So we cut to fucking Sam. What should we call it? Oh, Sam got pointless series of interviews. He got a job working for John Malkovich. John Malkovich did a crazy scene. You're just like, why John Malkovich?
Why
not?
this?
Why,
Yeah.
for the love of
Why
God.
any
Why
of
any
this?
of this?
That whole sequence just shows how much Sam sucks.
Yeah,
Like he's just not a good person.
Yeah.
I
like
wouldn't
he's
hire
not.
him.
Yeah, he's just not a good person. Like
He's
He's
overconfident. He's aggravating. He's mildly racist.
he's
Oh,
prone
yes.
to insane bouts of jealousy.
He's entitled. He
loses
thinks
his
he
temper.
deserves
the
stuff.
worst part of America. Like
Yeah, he's spastic. Like, he is just in general the worst. Yeah, it is like we added in a 20-minute scene just to remind you this character is shit.
Yeah.
it is like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
And-
it's long as fuck.
And he is an unequivocal, irredeemable douchebag.
Yeah.
Through and through
Karen.
this entire
Oh,
film.
yeah.
Straight up a Karen.
Yeah.
We have several minutes with like some Goo Goo Doll song just watching him deliver mail for his job. Why? Why?
So
Because
This is when Tony cries.
he's just so put upon.
so
Goo Goo Dolls.
It's great.
so fucking
Do you feel lost?
No, if you want to keep pushing, roll another one and call out the third one or something.
I absolutely will.
Do it.
We didn't
Do
watch
it. This is the third one.
wait,
The one,
it's,
with Mark, the one with Mark Wahlberg.
well, it's my
Any of
roll.
them.
So if I roll a 1 at least this week, we won't do a Transformers.
Pretty much any of them.
So, anyways,
Every one I roll, it's gonna be Transformers until they're all done,
so
and they just keep making them, so it's never gonna happen.
well, presumably their quality is improving.
Oh,
at least.
we'll
We'll see. Yeah, that Beast Wars one does sound pretty dubious,
We'll
but I don't want to go
see.
down that rabbit hole.
Also, you do realize I can kill you.
We meet.
You kill me, you gotta deal with Sharon.
I'll take my chances.
So we go and we meet Carly's boss, who I believe his name is Dylan Gould. Like
It's
Ra's al Ghul?
Gould, I believe.
Oh,
It's
Gould. Okay.
Gould.
I just call him Dylan Gould.
I mean, that's
And-
probably originally
yeah.
what it was.
He has
And
a
then
lot
they
of
were like,
cars for some
Michael, this is stupid.
Yeah, this movie's like here's more
for
porn
you.
shots of cars, and then Sam is immediately jealous and sucks, and that's all my.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down, summing that scene up.
Also, I just realized that is fucking terrible.
He
That he's subservient to Megatron or whatever, so he is their ghoul. Like, that is fucking awful.
I
so
think Megatron has pictures of him in like a skimpy little like outfit.
But he's Dylon, so he spits out fire.
So our hero just immediately
It's a loose
collapses into extreme. I'm sorry, our messenger.
Just let's shorten it.
The character
Just
they
our
choose
mess.
to
Our
focus
mess.
on.
Collapses immediately into a bout of insane jealousy on his girlfriend. Screams at her. Can't get his car to start. Just hits it with a fucking 20-hit combo like it's the
Yeah.
level in Street
That was
Fighter
pretty
where
impressive.
you have to destroy the car.
I honestly believed he destroyed this car.
Dylan comes by and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I got you that job." Fuck you. And you're like, right now, you're like, Dylan's cooler And, you know,
Yeah.
Good for you, Carly.
why do we need Sam? Like, why can't we just have Carly working with this guy and figuring out that he's an asshole?
Yeah.
Because Michael Bay, I know. But I'm just
And the funny
saying
thing
the
is,
movie
like,
would be...
Carly even says, she's like, yeah, your temper tantrums are so sexy.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Dylan comes up and he's like, yeah, I hope you get the job, and I really like, you know, this
Trying to
girl
help
is
you out,
awesome.
yeah.
Well, yeah, even like one of the basis for this whole movie is because he saved the world twice, but because it's Transformers or whatever, they have to keep it secret so nobody can know. So he's bitching about this whole shit, and it's like, you just want fame. You say you want fame,
Right.
you want to
Yeah.
be famous, you want people to suck your dick
That's what
every
Michael
minute.
Bay thinks a
Yeah.
hero is.
America.
Yeah.
And Dylan is a villain. Dylan the villain.
Yep.
And Carly doesn't know what she's talking about because she is a woman.
Carly's there just to look pretty.
Yep. And that's why the first shot, with most of the women in this movie, starts with her ass.
He's like furiously writing. He's like, "Oh yeah, you think my temper tantrums aren't sexy? You dumb bitch! I'll show you."
All right, so fucking the Autobots are on the moon.
Super real.
Oh my god, yes it was.
I'll
They,
see you next Tuesday.
They enter the wrecked ship, the Ark, I guess, on the moon. They go in, they get their pillars, they get their Sentinel. Optimus cradles them in his arms.
There's about
and then
50
they
MacGuffins that
fly
pop
off.
out.
Fly back.
They can just do it.
Yeah. Just turns into.
We learn later they have a ship,
Yeah.
but I know they didn't launch that to get here. And if they did, I know that like it's not coming back.
No,
So-
there was some ship that he was on that he flew over to the dark side of the moon.
Yeah,
That doesn't come up ever again.
whatever. All right.
Didn't use it to get to Earth.
Either way, they got these things called the pillars. There's some sort of weapon that could have won the war.
Oh my god.
All right. So now we cut to down on his luck Megatron, who is now just like a poacher truck.
Yes, he's from Mad Max.
He is Assassin's Creed Megatron.
Yeah, and that he's got his little he's got his like Rambo poncho. He wraps some chains around himself.
It is a hobo poncho.
He still has not healed that head wound. And
No.
I mean, I thought that Transformers regenerate, but
Well,
I guess
See, here's part of the
depends
problem.
on how Michael Bay's feeling that day.
He can't heal the wound because he keeps picking at it.
That's true, yeah.
Because he's got these little things in it that are trying to heal him, I think.
He's got little robot bugs.
And he keeps
yeah.
killing them. He also has his babies from the last one, because fucking whatever that was about, that he's feeding in a barrel that he then just
Leaves
leaves in Africa.
Yeah, what were those?
I don't know.
Those were in the second one?
I believe in the second one they added some nonsense about growing babies in a sack or some shit.
That's
Like,
terrifying.
you know how in Star Wars, when they re-released the original trilogy, but like they added all the CGI stuff,
Like the honeycomb fuzzy guy.
These things
Look
are
like
like the shit that they added to the Star Wars. They make no sense. There's
Oh yeah, also Slimer's there in
Yeah.
robot form. Whatever the hell that is.
He's
Holy
here.
shit, I hate
just
this.
so fucking
This
bad.
is my Boglin. He's here to eat my peas.
All right, so
And it took like
a lot of time.
weeks to make this little Slimer.
It's there for literally 2 seconds and we never see it
We
again.
never get a name. We did-
This is ILM?
I believe so. It was for the first one.
What is that?
ILM doing the special effects.
Oh, maybe.
all right. So Starscream and
I hope
Soundwave.
not, because that makes the CGI of Kennedy even worse.
I'm pretty sure. Well,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think that was probably added later by Bay in MS Paint. Or something.
Yeah.
He was.
Keep in mind, even if was involved with this, I guarantee at some point they just farmed a bunch of shit out to
Because
whoever.
like they did Forrest Gump too, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like they know how to.
Yeah.
So
They could have just legit used the scene.
Yeah,
before
from what I was
Gump.
reading, basically the CGI department was shut down for everyone to spend days working on the sequence later with the skyscraper for that
Oh my
worm
God.
thing.
Yeah,
So
it's so that scene is so just dumb.
Too much.
yeah.
So you could have the greatest special effects artists in the industry, like a Hall of Fame cast, and just the ideas that they are trying to make in this film. There's no way it would be done well. So, either way, Starscream and Soundwave report in, and I'm like,
You gotta go down.
More attention this way, though.
You gotta go down the road, not across
we have
the
our
street.
first suicide attempt. Will is using a Zoids to attempt to cut his wrists. I believe that is some sort of Liger.
That's the Blade Liger?
That's the Hayate.
Oh, okay.
Not the hentai?
Hayate.
The hentai Liger, yeah, no.
All right. So
That was in this movie, I think, running down the highway.
It was her
Soundwave
car.
shows up here, and I'm like, no, that's Shockwave. Nope, it's Soundwave. But again, we can't tell them apart. So apparently there's collaborators working with the Decepticons. Makes sense. Humans are awful.
Like,
And
I think at this point when we're watching it, I'm like, I think I said, after the second movie where like they had a Transformer that was a human,
yeah,
like at this point, they just keep doing that. Like,
yeah,
there's no need for the rest of the shit to happen in this movie if they just had those human Transformers.
yeah.
But you're forgetting that would imply some level of thought and continuity, which none of this shit has.
Like, that'd be cool if the Dylan character was like a rope, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be something.
It'd be
So
something.
Also, Mike
But it's-
Bay wrote the second movie, and like writers wrote this movie.
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
It's
writers.
the same way, like,
A committee of
we have all these guys and we want them to keep quiet, so we have Laserbeak watching over all of them at once or something, but we have the technology to make a watch that will just make you do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Why not just use that on all those guys?
because there's only one of that guy, Tony.
why take that off? So
That watch guy.
What? Are you sure?
I don't
How
know.
do you know?
Watchbot.
don't know.
His name was
Maybe that's
Watchbot.
what was growing in all those barrels that Megatron was feeding. Who knows?
Bunch of watches.
all right. So
Laserbeak can apparently turn into everything.
Rumble,
Everyone
Rumble.
else can turn into one
Yeah.
thing.
Rumble.
Laserbeak.
Yeah.
so anyway, so
Where's Rumble? Where I guess Ravage was maybe in the other one.
And
Yeah, he
Frenzy
got
was in the
fucked
first
up.
one.
all right. So he sends Laserbeak, who I'm just going to call Razorbeak because that makes more sense because
yeah,
it's a
might
fucking
as well.
bird. Anyway, so he sends Laserbeak out to go kill all the collaborators. Fine, whatever. Tie up the loose ends. We cut to Sam's job. He starts there. Immediately, his boss is like, "Let's put down women. Hoochie mama outfits. Something, something. Get out of here. Pointless scene. Go deliver mail for a while." So we're doing that. Carly just rides up to his job with a Mercedes commercial, and just like comes in and is like, "Oh, I'm awesome," blah, 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 and leaves. And like it's there just to talk about the $200,000 Mercedes car. Right. And then she leaves, and we see that Ken Jeong, he's going by Deep Wang.
I will say, while this is obviously horrible product placement,
Yeah.
it is also to set up that you might not have got, because who the fuck could tell, but that car is Soundwave.
Well, yes.
So that's now their mole into this whole operation.
So there's a difference in saying he gave me a new car.
yeah,
And
oh
he
yes,
gave
I
me-
understand.
Yeah.
Like, but that's so dumb because Soundwave doesn't need to be there in person to get intel.
He could
He's plant bugs, Laserbeak.
he could just have like a
Laserbeak who is
Cybertron.
there as far
But
as
that's,
I could
that's
tell
again,
already.
he can, or can he?
Tap their
Yeah.
cell phones,
Yeah.
tap their computers. Like that's what
That's what he does
that's
in the first one.
Yeah,
It's a satellite.
That's his thing in the first movie, which I thought was cool as shit in the first movie. Honestly, like
Yeah.
that's a cool take
Like
on
an updated
Soundwave.
version,
Yeah,
yeah.
take on that. Nope.
Yeah, wasn't he a satellite?
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, that made sense.
I think that was the second one, but whatever.
Yeah. All right.
It doesn't matter. None of this matter. That's again. Well, yeah, we touched on this while we were watching it, but it's that thing of we keep retconning this to try and make it fit with the story of the Transformers that was never that stable to begin with, because the first one has the cosmic cube or the
Tesseract?
Allspark, the Tesseract, whatever, which probably should have just been the Matrix of Leadership, but they didn't think of that, or I don't know, something. So that became a thing. And then the second one, there was the Matrix of Leadership, which just happened to be on Earth and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then this one is basically like, oh yeah, some of them did come in the Ark, which originally all of them did. And so it's just...
in the cartoon, that was the ship that they
Yeah.
showed up
Yeah.
on in the
Yes.
beginning. Yeah, okay.
All right. So, needless to say, we find out this Deep Wang guy, again, no reason to be there. He's one of the collaborators. He hands Sam some information, removes his pants because we have to have a pantsless guy joke.
And a gay panic joke.
Yeah, and a gay panic joke. Goes back to his office and is killed by Razorbeak, who he's like, I have to make this look like a suicide.
No, he says, I'm going to suicide you.
Yeah, and
Yes.
pushes him out the window on his office chair.
Oh. 2 windows.
2 windows. Who jumps out, who jumps to their death in an office chair? Admittedly, that sounds fun, but no one has ever killed themselves that way.
Well, yeah, I love the idea here is he committed suicide by somehow getting his office chair to apparently launch at like 20 miles an hour through a plate
window,
glass wall window, whatever, and another full window.
When this movie makes me kill myself, that is how I'm doing it. But that's not friggin' possible. And no one's even like, yo, why is this chair on the ground? No one even cleans him up as far as I can tell, because Malkovich is like, yeah, whatever, that guy's dead. Let's keep working.
I mean, that was full on like retail manager right there. He's like,
Yeah.
Although, doesn't he go to Sam after and he's like, you have to clean up?
Yeah, what?
He said, like, scrape up his parking space or something. Like,
I'll take his name off his parking space.
That's like,
Someone else can have that now.
but that's like illegal, right?
I don't know.
He's basically telling him to get rid of the body?
Yeah.
I was too distracted by the guy trying to use the copy machine and being like, this is exceedingly Japanese. Whereas we're like, we've already put down women. We already had a nonsense suicide. It's like, now let's get the xenophobia joke in there.
No, because that was an inside joke, Joe, because that was Laserbeak.
I understand.
And it's Japanese. It's Transformers. Transformers Japanese.
I got it.
It's
But
also,
also Michael Bay. So
that's
yes, it's very
also
much.
a fairly accomplished comedian who had like 5 seconds in this movie for no reason.
Many of
he's
them were
pretty good.
pantsless.
He's been on the Doughboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I hear him on Comedy Batman all the time.
Yeah,
It's
so
funny.
it literally is, it's just Michael Bay's wheelhouse, because it's like, put down women, gay panic, xenophobic joke.
Yep.
Done.
Repeat.
Yep.
Yeah, Washer and Repeat.
So, yeah. I don't even know.
Laserbeak
Fast forward.
fucks
Yeah.
a bunch of things up, and yeah.
So he grabs Carly, goes to see Optimus, and this is Sam at his lowest in the movie. He's literally trying to get in that space, and he's just screaming. He's like a Karen that's like lost every argument
This is
and is just having a tantrum.
I tried so hard. I mean, there was a lot of problems with this movie, and I knew I wasn't gonna like it, but it was at this point I honestly started getting a headache
Yeah.
because he's just screaming.
And then after Bumblebee shows up and basically gives him the vouch, he's like acting like every douchebag customer that finally got their way. And it's like, well, you're going to pay for my car. You're going to have your job. You're going to be working at 7-Eleven.
Yep.
He's just being mean to everyone.
mean, yeah.
He's being mean to these guards, which I understand because they were giving him a hard time. He's being mean to Bumblebee. He's even being mean to his girlfriend for no reason.
Yeah, he's a shitty person. And like thinking about it now, there's almost 0 lines in this movie that he has that actually matter.
Yeah. No, almost
Like
nothing.
there's literally maybe 2 lines that he says that actually matter within any of the movie. Like or that are necessary for something
He
in the
brings
movie.
characters that do things that matter together and facilitates why they're there. But I don't think he actually does almost anything that matters in
Yeah,
this
very
movie.
little.
He is a messenger.
Like almost everything he attempts to do fails, and then somebody else nearby comes to help him.
He also,
So-
they won't let him into this thing, even though he's talking about Autobots and Decepticons and all that. But he also has some with him, which becomes somewhat important because they freak the fuck out about it. But like, why'd you bring them? First of all, second of all, why don't you just drive up and be like, "Here's my pass. It's a Transformer. I need to come in."
Like, why wasn't that your opening play?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got some Transformers. I know Transformers are here. Anyway, so Bumblebee comes and saves him from essentially like getting Guantanamo Bay'd here. And he's immediately like, Bumblebee, you asshole. Why don't you ever come and visit? I hate you. And you're like, that's great. That's great. No, not even thankful for that. So he goes and he talks to Colonel Lennox, who I honestly thought was called Colonel Ironside because they only said his name once. And we meet the intelligence director, played by Frances McDormand, who is a great actress, but they're like, just go be a bitch.
Yeah.
And that's what she does. So you immediately hate her. And we learned that Optimus Prime holds the great matrix of leadership, the only thing that in the universe that can reignite a Transformer's spark.
It's just a defibrillator.
Yeah. I mean, and it seems like, I thought the Sentinel just ran out of batteries, but...
Yeah, because it's just like a battery. It just zaps him.
Yeah, like, I know when Transformers run out of power, they die. I thought they just shut down, but I don't know.
They do say essentially he did kind of just shut down.
Yeah.
But the only way to basically jumpstart this car is with the Matrix and leadership.
Or the girl in Bumblebee, because she revived Bumblebee without it.
Right. Because it's just electricity.
Yeah.
When it's convenient.
Yep. So, whatever. He revived Sentinel. We learned that the pillars are essentially this giant teleporter network that can teleport tons of things. So the intelligence director's like, so they're weapons of mass destruction. And you brought them here. Fuck all of you. And tell Sam and Carly to get out of here. And honestly, you're like, good.
Yes.
But
I also had a problem with this because he's like, I created these pillars to make the space bridge. It defies your laws of gravity or whatever and blah, blah, blah. Or physics.
Like, they're not my laws of gravity. They're just the laws of gravity.
There's that.
Yeah.
But there's also, like, he's making it this big deal that he created these. Like, do you not remember that in the last movie, Jetfire could just do that?
No, nobody remembers the last movie.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's a problem. If you're making a continuous series.
But it's not, though. I mean,
But it
it's
is.
got the same actors.
Yeah, that's true. Jetfire did just say, like, I'm going to sacrifice myself and that's going to bring you back, right?
Yeah.
More than that,
And upgraded
when he
them.
first shows up, they talk to him in the Air and Space Museum, and then he's like, "We need to go to Egypt," and then poof, they all just go.
Yeah, he's it's called Michael Bay wrote that movie while he was filming it. And
No, he wrote that movie while he was in the bath.
well, I mean, yeah, because
Probably
that was
smoking some weed.
that was the writer's strike, so he just wrote that whole thing himself.
Oh God.
So now I get hit, I get worked over with another combo
Which is
here.
why it's the worst one.
Because you're like, okay, Sam's like, I know someone I can call. And it's fucking Agent Simmons. And I thought, I saw his name in the credits, so I knew he was going to be here. But I was like, man, the movie has already been going for like an hour at this point. So I'm like, I thought we were done with John Turturro. His character's never been funny. His character sucked this entire franchise. So they bring him back. And they bring him back and he's talking to Bill O'Reilly. So it's two things that I'm like, I don't want either of these.
They're gonna do it live.
John Turturro's a great actor. He's played a lot of cool characters, a lot of fun roles. I love him as the Jesus.
Yeah,
but
Well,
I hate this character so much.
in the Big Lebowski.
Well, that's the Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's now, I believe now they released the Jesus movie, so I don't know. I don't know what that is. But
All right, so either way. And now he has Alan Tudyk there. And you're like, I'm glad someone from Firefly has work, but Alan Tudyk, you're better than this.
Is he though?
Yeah, that's my question. Is he?
Yeah.
If he was voice acting someone, I'd be like, okay, Alan Tudyk, you can...
No, I mean, Alan Tudyk could do better than this, but Alan Tudyk is just, he's just there. It's a fun afternoon.
He's down
I guess
for it.
Alan Tudyk just does whatever.
Yeah, he's
works.
fine. He's down for it.
That he is a hardworking dude.
Yeah.
All right, so he's just Dutch. That's his character concept. He's Dutch.
Whatever that is.
There's Dutch
Yeah.
and there's Dylan. And
Yeah, I know. We're getting Predator references.
We get the big one later on.
Yep. So we cut to Sentinel and Optimus
Forget
in
the
a
dreads?
semi-serviceable scene where they're commiserating about Cybertron. They're looking at some pretty landscape. And Optimus is like, yo, Sentinel, you're my teacher. Here's the Matrix. You should be in charge. And Sentinel's like, nah, I don't know this world. I don't know. Like, I'm not fit to lead. You take that back. It's your show. And you're like, all right, that was a cool scene. The movie did something right. And then we now cut back to Simmons and Sam being crazy. John
Sucking
Malkovich
each other
shows
off.
up for no reason. Just looks at
His
Bumblebee.
last
I was
scene.
telling them when we were watching the movie, like, if this scene happened differently, it could take off maybe an hour of the movie.
Yeah.
Because this can set up way more things and easier than what's set up in the movie as
We
it
could
is.
skip the whole thing with the Soviet cosmonauts.
All that shit can just get skipped.
God, yeah, that fucking sucks.
A whole hour of movie
But
gone.
then we wouldn't
Yeah.
know how cool Alan Tudyk is.
Which that's fine. If you want to have a secret kind of character, whatever, blah blah blah. fine, whatever.
Guys, he can hack bridges.
Yeah, whatever.
He can hack bridges.
I mean, he could just be the hacker man. He doesn't need to be some sort of Dutch special agent. Yeah, whatever. All right, so just to skim it, there's some Soviet cosmonauts that are hiding in the U.S., and basically they brought some parts down from the ship, and they are somehow helpful in allowing Sam to figure out what's going on. Oh, they figure out that there were a ton of pillars on that ship originally, and the Soviets took pictures of them first, and then most of them disappeared, and then the Americans got there. So now they know, oh, there's a shitload of pillars. They're missing. Why are all those missing? But there were still like 4 or 5 on the ship. Oh, because the Decepticons want Optimus to revive Sentinel because he's the only one that can. Yada, yada. Sentinel's the key to this whole thing. We got to go. Run to the base. And now...
Fell asleep for a minute there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we now cut to the DC Parkway where we got to get Sentinel to safety at the Nest headquarters. And they don't tell you Sentinel turns into like some kind of fire rescue vehicle.
They don't tell you anything.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the vehicle he turns into is cool, but I honestly had no idea that was Sentinel.
I totally agree. I think, and I didn't notice that till watching it now, I think that's part of the reason we get that scene where he's talking about passing over the leadership in a different location is just so you can see the Optimus truck and a fire truck driving away. So
that's right. Okay.
Yeah, that's supposed to be how you know this is what he is,
Fair
but
enough.
it's not really explained.
Oh, wow.
All right. So we got some subtle Predator references. Now we're like, let's just fucking attack them with robot predators.
Yeah.
Because these 3 cop cars show up, turn into robot predators, and somehow just running is faster
They're faster than cars?
than
Like what?
cars. Yeah. Sports cars, mind you, that can accelerate really fast.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So we get a bad chase where a lot of innocent people die.
Yo,
So many.
so many people die.
So many people.
It's fucking tragic.
The body count in this movie is fucking high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying while watching this, I give them some credit in that while there are large amounts of deaths at this point in this whole chase scene, most of them are contributed to or by the Decepticons.
Yeah.
So they're bad guys. It makes sense until Ironhide just kicks one of their bodies onto a car and through
you
like
clearly see a
building.
person's in.
Yeah, just like fuck them. Damn it.
So, all right, I understand that, what you call it, Ironhide's a cool guy, but in the movies, I don't think I ever saw him do anything cool, or I never remember him doing anything of note.
He talked about cannons.
Yeah, so
He got peed on by a dog.
Got beat on by a dog.
that's true. That's not cool, though. So anyway, original statement still applies. He now gets to kill these 2 Predator Decepticons. So you're like, oh, Ironhide did something cool.
That's how you know he's gonna die.
Yeah. So you're like, he's fucked.
Walking Dead rules.
Yeah.
Once you become a decent person or there's any redeeming value to you, you are going to die.
That's called a character arc. He did a thing. He's got a character arc.
So Sentinel was like, yo, thanks for bringing me back to the nest. By the way, betraying you, I made a deal with the Decepticons long ago. Hey, Ironhide, how's your face? It's got a bullet in it now.
Shot him in the back
Yeah.
Like
over the amount of $80.
He couldn't have just left. Like what? Yeah. He really had to kill Ironhide.
pretty brutal.
But not even that, but just like, how about 1 second to just be like, I made a deal with the Decepticons. How do you feel about that?
No.
It's like, no, just shoots him in the back.
And then,
Like, what if Ironhide turned around and was like, I'm cool with the...
and now he totally fine.
Yeah.
He just goes
Sounds like a good idea.
crazy, go nuts, ape shit, like inside Nest headquarters. He's flipping planes over, he's
For no
kicking
reason.
everyone. Now, Nest never even considered a plan on like, yo, what if the Autobots go nuts? Like in our own headquarters.
They need a suicide
Maybe we should think of a way. No, fuck it. What if the Decepticons who are great at infiltrating things get inside our headquarters? Shouldn't we have some kind of defense? No.
Yeah, they would
think.
call G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
But their movie got canceled.
Snake eyes.
Yeah, they call Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes.
Who
All right,
talks? Who
so-
talks now? It's cool.
Anybody see that?
No,
I'm surprised you haven't.
literally no one.
Yeah.
COVID times. It's hard to get to the theater.
Oh.
All right, so yeah, the Intel director's like, look what you did, Prime. You brought this guy back. He betrayed us, whatever. Then, like, Sam's family shows up. They're like, let's talk about your penis. He's like, fuck this,
out of the
I'm
movie.
getting out of here. Yeah. And now,
It's when he realized, like, why are you in this movie?
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm
For
going.
real.
yeah. He gets inspired in this scene, according to the narrative. It's not very effective at conveying those emotions, but that's narratively why they're there. Luckily, they're gone now. Because if I recall, in 2, they're in the end fight, aren't they?
Yes.
His parents, yeah.
But yet, like, the whole thing here is to give him inspiration to go save the world and his girlfriend.
Yeah, go save his
Despite
girlfriend,
The
yeah.
whole time, him trying to get back with his girlfriend and bitching about how he can't be a hero anymore.
I didn't say they did it well.
He's like,
Yeah, I'm just saying, none of this is well. Like,
he's like, Mom, you're right. I do need to eat Carly out more.
Yeah. Well, that's basically it, because Mom's like, yeah, your dad, there was a time when I was mad at your dad, and he did all this stuff and won me back, and you got to go do that now.
That's right. Here's a book. Perform some
Yeah.
cunnilingus.
With a papaya.
It'll be great.
And no matter what you do, as long as you just fight really hard, you can win your girlfriend
I just
back.
want to point out, Robin Willow not joking. Like literally, like that's
Yeah.
what she's telling
Yeah.
him.
yeah.
she's like, put a towel down in case she's a squirter, and
Yeah.
do what you need to do.
But she does rightly say, you got, not that, attractiveness should be the main factor here, but she does say, you got 2 hot girls, you're not going to get a third one. Hold on to that shit.
Even if this one doesn't let you do anal, you really just gotta do,
Okay, right.
If you fight hard enough, you can do
But I was
it.
like, the whole thing here, go fight for her or whatever, and it's like,
Does-
her only problem is that you're being a dick. Stop being a dick.
It doesn't matter what she thinks, as long as you fight hard enough.
Oh,
She'll
also,
come around.
That's right.
also because he's trying to live a dangerous lifestyle, and we find out kind of in an off sentence, she had a brother that may have died in
Sure.
Iraq or something.
Like literally,
That comes and goes. Like,
when she's leaving, she takes her coat off a picture. And
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
her. It's
not-
her, some guy, and I'm assuming her brother.
Yeah.
And he goes. Is this about your brother? And like that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's,
no
And by the way, not a coat, Brian. Her bunny.
sorry, her bunny. Sorry.
so,
That's a fucking thing in this.
so dear
Oh
listeners,
God, I hate this.
we skipped it, but she did storm off. But you can honestly tell just by looking at this movie, she's going to storm off at one point, and he's going to have to win her back. So
Also,
it didn't need to be
The
said.
bunny gets more screen time than I think any of the Transformers.
Yeah. More than Optimus Prime.
You know what? The bunny got a name. That little Slimer robot didn't.
All right, I'll say this next scene starts off somewhat cool. I like Megatron showing up, defacing the Lincoln Memorial, and just sitting down on it. And he's like, "That's me now."
He says,
This is
"Come
my
at me,
throne."
bro."
Reminds me of like the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
Did I miss? Is that like a whole separate piece that can just be removed?
it's a statue in the middle of it. Like I
but
don't
isn't
know,
the
but
chair
you can't.
part
yeah,
of him?
it's not.
Yeah,
It's not Abe
one for one
Lincoln
piece.
Why
and
is
the
that
chair.
always like in all these movies? They just pull the Lincoln statue out and it's just a chair,
Like
that can
a
be
rag
used.
doll?
Yeah, like,
Cybertronian technology.
yeah.
I don't know.
not just Transformers though. Like I feel like that's been done in a couple things. Whatever.
All right, so
I'm
It's
nuts.
detachable
You know what
in
I mean?
case he gets canceled
Yeah.
at some point.
at least
Smart thinking. Too bad they didn't do that with all the other movies.
All right, so like now Sentinel shows up. He sets up the pillars he stole, and like Optimus Prime shows up and is just like, "Don't!"
No, stop!
And he's like, "No, I'm doing it."
Yeah.
And he gets fucking.
Don't.
And suddenly, for like no reason, like a army of Decepticons, like a whole flotilla of them, is buried in the moon.
Yep.
Just they're just there.
And they've been there since
chilling
the
forever.
60s or something.
I don't understand.
Never
So
explained.
they're like, "Yo, fire off the cliche sky laser. Everyone get down here."
Oh shit!
I mentioned this
Sorry.
this while we were watching it. And I was like, this bridge just opened a thing to the moon. They could have just fucking
Yeah, they
flown
could
from
just,
the moon.
like those Decepticons could have came from anywhere. You literally could have just showed some crazy like orange planet or something, and they all get up and go.
What I also like now
Why
is
the moon?
I like the idea of him being like, we enacted this plan, we opened the space bridge, all my Decepticons now come, and it just shows the moon and nothing happens, and he's like, oh, it's right, if they don't eat energon, they die. We still have that Matrix around.
It just does like
Optimus Prime kicks him in the face and roll the credits.
it just does like a hard cut to them like laying dead on the moon.
Yeah, you just see like the one that's half buried.
Here's the thing. All right. The moon is our neighbor, okay? It's got
our
a part
friend.
of it that the sun does not shine on. We don't see what's going on up there. We don't know what can be going on up there. It reminds me
Decepticon orgy.
of something else. Mexico. We don't know what's going on in Mexico. We don't know what those Mexicans are
Are there
doing.
Doritos somewhere? Some Doritos? Anyone Doritos?
No, I'm channeling the mind of Michael Bay right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, something has to explode right now.
Yeah. It's like Mexicans. They're
So,
scary.
other thing,
As we did learn from Bad Boys, he has made it quite clear that Mexico is dangerous and needs to be destroyed. But anyway.
is Cybertron
In Cuba.
a actual planet or is it a Dyson sphere? Because that would make more sense for it to be a Dyson sphere of a small star.
Doesn't it have like a big spark or something inside of it that's kind of like a Dyson sphere?
It is a transformer.
See, this is where you get the tricky thing of the original Transformers was a comic book writer trying to explain a toy line. So a lot of the mythology has been built and then rebuilt over the years. So kind of like asking what Superman's powers are, it depends on who's writing that day. So,
Well, it's basically it's like a slightly bigger Unicron, right?
I think it's the same size.
Okay. Well, because that was in the years where the Transformers changed sizes at a
I don't
whim.
know if you noticed, this movie had Transformers changing sizes
Yeah,
too.
that's true as well.
That scale is a little...
It's almost like they should have the power to harness, solar energy. So why?
Well, where are they going to put their solar panels? Their home is just a big honeycomb. There's no land. There's no place to put anything.
I mean, like
Standing room only, Brian.
I mean, if they're in space. Oh, we're near the star. The light hits me. I'm recharging myself. Like,
Makes too much sense.
that also would be another good workaround to all of this is the whole thing of how about instead of that sun destroying thing that we hid under the pyramid and the space bridge that brings Cybertron to
Was that
Earth?
why we were trying to destroy the sun?
Something like that.
I don't know.
But what if it was just a big solar panel and we just opened a space bridge to shoot some energy to them? Anybody cool with that? All right.
So Sentinel and Prime look like they're going to fight, and Sentinel's just like, yo, get out of here. He's like, I'm going to go turn Earth to Cybertron somehow, and everything's going to be cool. And Optimus Prime's like, this isn't over, and then just walks away. Optimus Prime, doo-doo. So Sam's like, he's like, all right, I'm going to go get Carly back from Dylan. I'm going to go to Dylan's party, and turns out it's like the Decepticon collaborators are having a party.
It's like the cult of Megatron.
Yeah, the cult of Megatron.
Yeah, what?
So Sam's like, all right, Carly, let's get out of here. Dylan's like, yo, I'm a traitor. And I'm gonna friggin' turn her car into Soundwave, and then it's gonna grab her and put her in the car, and then it's gonna deploy tentacles, because pretty ladies and tentacles.
Also, outside of itself to go inside of itself to attack her?
Well, they're like, dude, I can't draw tentacles in the car. Just put them over it.
Or maybe somebody on the ratings board was like, I need to see those above the steering wheel at all times.
Between her and the tentacles.
But also in this scene, I guess they're all
R.
Decepticon traitors, and they keep showing this one woman like I'm supposed to know who
Yeah.
the fuck that is. And I'm
She's like, all right, I'm leaving the movie. You're
I
like,
thought she was the maid at first.
bye, lady that I don't
That's
know.
the nanny from Muppet Babies.
So,
oh.
Really?
all right.
I couldn't tell because I'd never seen her face before.
So basically, Dylan's like, yo, my dad's been working with Decepticons. I inherited this. I'm basically just trying to survive.
Like a Nazi collaborator.
Yeah, I'm working with them. And that's basically, he's like, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to go talk to Optimus. I'm going to put this techno watch on you. You're going to go find out what Optimus's plan is to fight back. And this thing's going to shock your nerves and make you do a bunch of bad physical comedy. and
Real bad.
Yeah, and that's it. And it'll kill you if you don't do it. So whatever. He's like, all right, no problem. So now they let Sam go, but they're keeping Carly as a hostage. And now the CIA director's been a bitch. It's like, hey, Sam, you've been right about like everything. So you should come with us and we're going to tell you what's going on. But in the air, what's his name? Sentinel sends out a message that's like, hey, these rebel Autobots you got hiding on there, just hand them over. They got to go.
Yeah, not even hand them over.
Just send them away.
Just deport them.
Deport them.
They got to go. Send them back to wherever they come from.
So many problems here.
America.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, we're gonna deport them. So we're gonna have the Autobots build their own spaceship, which is actually what happens.
Yeah, we'll make the Autobots pay for it.
We launch them using a lot of fuel, and then we blow it up. Instead of just opening another space bridge and sending them to the sun.
Yeah. Well, so they're like, all right, Sam still asks Optimus, what's the plan for fighting back? Optimus is like, there's no plan. We're out of here. Which apparently is just good enough for Dylan. Dylan's like, okay, you're here. The watch is gone. You're free to go, whatever. So,
and it's a straight up lie. Why do you lie to him? Well,
because he doesn't fucking trust Sam.
Yeah, because
that's fair.
That's why Optimus hasn't been around this whole movie. He's like, Sam's trash.
I secretly hate Sam.
That's fair.
He's a shitty person.
As he's met more humans, Optimus realizes that Sam sucks.
Because he's the first one he met, he thought he was pretty cool. But
yeah, because he didn't know too many people.
A few years later, he's like, this guy fucking sucks.
I like that. It makes sense, except, again, doesn't fit with the continuity, because I believe in the last movie we realized Sam is so awesome, he is worthy of the matrix of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Hot Rod.
Which is
but then
he is like Hot Rod.
He got a big ass head, and he's like, no, this shit goes to his head, and he turns into a bigger dick. So no, fuck that shit.
So, again, it's hard to... They need to just put fucking subtitles on the screen when they put a Decepticon on the screen to tell you who it is. But I believe this is Starscream because it's an F-22 Raptor.
Only plane left. All the planes that blew the last movie.
So Starscream just flies by the ship that the Autobots are leaving on, fires a few little missiles, and the whole fucking thing blows up. And they're like, all the Autobots are dead. Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't check. Don't double tap.
In general, I kind of feel like this should work like a video game where everyone just has their name floating above them at all times.
Yeah, that would help.
Lands, and then a big banner that says "Mission Accomplished."
So, like, I don't...
Hanging from broadside.
Starscream's a pretty powerful dude, but he's like... Do you have confidence that just, like, the 6 missiles he fired eradicated 7 Autobots?
Also, Starscream, notorious at always accomplishing what he's meant to do.
Yeah, that's
what he's known for.
Well, what's weird, too, is up until this movie in the franchise, as far as I can tell, Starscream is the most competent of them. Because he almost always, in the movies, does what they need him to do, and he survives. When it turns against him, he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
Like, and, and he's like, he's way more useful than he is in the show. Anyway, whatever. The shuttle blows up. The Autobots are dead. Sam's like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go get Carly.
Now, did we talk about the gaggle of Autobots that we just introduced at this point for no reason?
Nope, because why would we?
Yeah.
Because they're the Wreckers, and it just pissed me off.
Are they?
That's what they are.
Why?
Yeah, well,
They do say
They do call them the Wreckers, yeah. I have no idea what that is.
Don't they form a big giant robot?
No.
What am I thinking of?
Devastator?
Constructicons.
No, Autobots had one too. That turned into. Didn't
They had a couple.
They have a couple.
I mean, they had
Superion.
They had the Protectobots. They had the Aerial Bots.
Yeah.
But no, the Wreckers are basically the Transformers version of
SEAL Team 6.
The Suicide Squad, I would say more likely.
Yeah, that's probably.
Or the A-Team, like just a bunch of like a gaggle of random Transformers that like go in and do all the super dirty missions that nobody wants to do. They have a really cool comic storyline.
Yeah, they do.
That got really...
Michael Bay did not read that.
He did not.
Michael Bay can't read.
Do I have food on me?
You got a whole bunch of Star Crunch detritus all over you. So anyway, all right. So that was supposed to be an emotional scene. The Autobots are dead. You're like, yeah, they're not dead. Come on. So Dylan, from what I can understand, because the words are going by fast, but I believe he He takes Carly to Trump Tower
Yes.
to hold her hostage there. Fine, whatever. So he reveals that Sentinel is going to bring Cybertron to Earth using this star bridge, rainbow bridge thing, whatever. And the humans are going to bring it back to life and put it together as a slave labor force. Which, yeah, Cybertron is a dead planet that doesn't seem to have an atmosphere, and the humans are going to bring it back
Yeah.
somehow.
Their plan of dealing with this is not to open the space bridge so people could easily go back and forth, but to bring Cybertron within the distance of the moon?
Closer.
Closer
Just
to the moon.
right next to Earth. So,
Which would just
immediately
kill us
would
all.
kill...
Everything.
Yeah, would probably even kill all the Transformers on there. It would definitely kill all the people.
It would destroy
Yeah.
the planet.
Yeah, that
so
Earth's atmosphere would be gone. Like, just
Wouldn't it just throw the whole planet off its axis?
it would fuck that up.
too.
Yeah, it would pull the atmosphere away from Earth onto Cybertron. It would probably slam the two celestial objects together.
And we'd all
Yeah.
go spinning into the sun together.
Yeah.
Great.
But I also like they're we're gonna use the humans as slave labor to rebuild Cybertron. So what's our first thing we're gonna do? Start murdering humans.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that actually makes sense because you have to like the feisty ones. You gotta
yeah, you got to assert your dominance.
But it's not just the fight. They just start murdering in mass for no reason.
Yeah, so basically, like, Carly's like, yeah, you're going to kill, like, you're going to condemn all of humanity. And Dylan's like, I just want to survive. Fuck everyone else.
America.
Which again, though, I mean, it's ridiculous somewhat, but like, that's the most interesting part of this whole movie for me is he's talking about how he inherited his company from his father, and his father made a deal with the Decepticons ages ago, and he's like, I just have to do these things. He had the watch, so presumably they were controlling him.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's actually a story I could get behind and
Well,
watch.
eventually they explore that sort of thing a little bit more in 5 when they figure out what it would be like if Merlin was your ancestor.
Is Merlin Mark Wahlberg's ancestor in that?
I don't answer that question. Anyway. So,
Cade Yeager.
Wait, Merlin was a Transformer, right?
No.
don't answer that question. I'm too mad right now. Anyway, so...
To be fair, no.
So...
All that.
Okay.
they're like, Decepticons like, yo, I got a plan. Why don't we hole up in Chicago to set this whole thing in motion? You know, this city with tons of cover and lots of little places where humans can creep and crawl and get the drop on us and all that. And I understand the Decepticons are arrogant and don't, undervalue humans, but twice humans have fucked them over now, or helped the Autobots fuck them over, and have shown that they are indeed more resourceful than the Decepticons give them credit for. So you think they would learn and be like, why don't we not go to an area that has a ton of people in it? Mm-hmm. Why don't we go somewhere remote, especially since we can control the satellites now? So area where they have like no intel on and would be very difficult for humans to fight in, like Antarctica.
Or where Megatron was originally.
Yeah. So, yeah, somewhere in Africa, somewhere deep in the jungle. All these things where it's like, if humans come to attack us, they're going to have so many other problems to deal with. Let's go to the fucking moon. Let's just go to the moon. Whatever. So they decide
They
instead.
don't have ships, Joe.
Yeah.
They have a space bridge now.
That
Ships to get up to them.
they decide to fortify
can fly.
Chicago. And they call in all these Decepticons. They've got these like little gunship things that Decepticons can ride in. Admittedly, these things are kind of cool. That they could fly around in and, give them better firepower, and they can shoot down military aircraft and stuff.
These are kind of neat.
Yep.
But they are perhaps the most confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, they seem to transform from being the gunship that they normally are to the gunship facing a different direction.
Yeah, I don't understand why they
I don't know
can't,
what that's
especially because they could hover in place.
Yeah,
and,
it's so weird.
Yeah.
They also seem to range from having like a machine gun that is used primarily throughout anyone's time using these gunships to firing missiles to firing a thing that vaporizes people.
They've got a weird selection of armaments.
Just So whatever.
I realized, because the first time I saw them murk somebody with this thing, I was like, was that debris? What the fuck was that? And then I realized they're not showing blood. They can get away with not having to be R.
Oh, yeah, this is like Mars attack shit.
Yeah, they brush people so they don't have to show blood.
So, now, I could be wrong, but if I remember right, in the first movie, weren't most of the Transformers weapons energy-based or missile-based? Like, there really wasn't too many ballistic weapons. And if there were, they weren't really, like, machine guns.
In the movie? I don't know.
I'm gonna say... So...
That's what it should be.
I feel like Megatron's big, like, combo cannon was energy-based. But I feel like pretty much everything else was maybe Bumblebee's like
I could have sworn Bumblebee has a laser.
Optimus's gun I thought was more energy based.
I think we're shooting missiles out of it.
All right, but so either way, they weren't. I don't remember them being
had ammunition he fired.
Yeah, I don't remember them being like ballistic weapon based, and like. During this whole fight, a problem I have, right? Everyone's yelling, everything's loud, everything's making horrendous noise, except all of the guns that they're firing are just like poo 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 poo. These little like machine gun things where it's like you're firing at giant fucking metal robots and you're just firing these little pew pew guns. Like, why is anything armed with these that don't they kill people nice, I guess, but like
they kill people real nice.
Yeah, but like so do your big cannons and whatnot. I don't know. It seems so weird. It was so disjointed in this loud action, like war scene that you just have pew-pews going off all the time.
Have you seen how easy it is to kill a Transformer? Like, it's like going at a freaking Costco rotisserie chicken with your bare hands. You pull them apart.
You need a grapple rod or a motorcycle.
I guess,
yeah.
But yeah, here's the other problem I have. Well, several problems I have with this whole scene. So Sam's trying to run back to save his girlfriend, whatever the whole thing, blah. These Decepticons attack him, and it's looking dicey when the Autobots show up again.
Yeah,
that's where we're at, right? I think.
Well,
I blacked out a couple times.
Yeah, Epps just showed up in the third act, and you're like,
I don't
know who you are. I don't remember you. I don't care. Like, this isn't whatever. And him and his crew. They get a lot of time spent on them, but they don't do anything that matters.
Nope. But so in this scene, things are looking dicey when Optimus shows back up and he's like, we lied to you, Sam. It's all a bunch of bullshit, whatever. He's like, hey, Sam, don't worry. I saved you. Meanwhile, he discharged this, like, the bullet casing, whatever, from his gun, which almost kills Sam.
Yeah.
So, like, kind of a mixed message. But two, it's like, now your government hopefully has learned that Decepticons will never be acceptable, and we're here to save you. Like, so I just let, like, all of Chicago die to prove a point.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. All right, so now, what was he? Bumblebee gets in the Decepticon gunship that they shot down, which apparently those are like, if you shoot them down, you can just get on them and they're immediately repaired and fly off.
Apparently.
Yeah. So, whatever. Carly now notices, Sentinel. He's getting a little mouthy to Megatron because Megatron's like, I'm in charge, and Leonard Nimoy's like, my dick is gigantic, and shoves his fingers into his head wound and just pulls something out. And you don't see Megatron for a while. Turns out he went to an alleyway to fucking sulk. So fucking sad.
Sentinel, just a big jerk.
All right, so
Jerk.
Like, there's this cool scene where Sam what could have been a cool scene where Sam goes to rescue Carly from Dylan, and like Bumblebee drops him off on the gunship, and it looks dicey for Sam for a little bit, like Dylan's goons apprehend him, and then the gunship pulls up, and think of like True Lies. You remember the scene where the Harrier pulled up to the level of the terrorists?
I was thinking the same.
And just unloads with its Vulcan cannon and just levels the whole floor. And it's brutal and it's awesome. And you're like, fuck yeah. Instead, this gunship shows up and it just goes, pew, 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 pew,
Now, mind you, the same gunship that has that freaking cannon that fucking destroys everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, just vaporized.
Vaporize
It's an
people.
area effect. Boom! Everything's gone.
Which, again, I'm kind of at odds here because it's like, on the one hand, yeah, you have access to this vaporizing weapon. Why aren't you using it? On the other hand, I'm like, am I really just watching Bumblebee murder a bunch of humans right now?
No one got hit. No one got hit.
Yeah.
No one
Well,
died.
no, I'm sure some of the
You don't see
people-
anybody, but they
Yeah.
probably did get hit. But these,
The
like,
maid.
they all
Yeah, the maid died.
dive for cover in this big dramatic, like, this is going to be awful. And it's like, beep, 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 beep. You're like, come
We never see
on.
those dogs again.
Yeah.
Oh, those windows are fucked too.
So-
don't you worry.
All right, Razorbeak attacks. As far as I can tell, Laserbeak just pokes the gunship and it crashes, but Sam grabs it and takes its head and puts it in front of the gun.
No, so what? There was a drone flying around.
Yeah.
And Razorbeak threw the drone into the engine.
Oh,
It happens
okay.
real quick. Like, it
Yeah.
happens real quick.
I did not get that.
Yeah.
I had to ask to clarify about the Laserbeak getting his head shot off thing because I saw him pulling his head towards a barrel, but again, was that a barrel? Was that an exhaust? I couldn't honestly tell you.
He shoots B fire and then
Yeah.
B fires the gun.
Yeah, well,
That's
That's
why
why
I conjectured it to
Yes.
figure that out.
I was able to piece the things together. That's why I was just like, clarify for me, guys. Is that what happened? But like watching it, I had no fucking clarity.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest problems with these movies is that all the action sequence happen so fast and everything looks so similar
Yeah.
to everything else that it's hard to tell
They're
what's
edited
happening.
Well,
so fucking
color.
poorly.
And again,
It's like it's still almost 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And the scenes are so fast.
but also again, the pointlessly over-designed characters makes it so hard to tell. So even when you have Bumblebee, who's primarily yellow, so much of him is just like the wires and different tubes put together,
Yeah.
which everybody else is too. That it makes it hard to tell one thing from another.
So, basically, we now get the point where all the humans realize, okay, they're in Chicago. That's where we got to go. Mobilize the army, fire some missiles. Let's go there. And we start the big battle. This battle goes for 45 minutes to an hour and is an incoherent mess.
Yep.
And honestly, though, it's probably the better of the three movies that I saw. I think it's the best of the end battles, but it's still an incoherent mess. So you get this team of guys with like Epps and Sam and Carly. They go and they're going to try to get on top of a skyscraper that's already starting to fall over and take a shot at one of the pillars. Great, fine, whatever. They go up in the skyscraper and don't take the shot, even though like they have the opportunity to. And the building starts to fall over. And
Starts, I guess.
yeah, it starts leaning in one way. They all like have to jump out the window. Oh, because a Decepticon came in through the window, and there's like everyone be quiet for a second. If we stand still, it can't see us. And then they just throw like a grenade at it. It's like, oh, and starts chasing them.
Yeah, I didn't do shit.
They shoot out a window and start sliding down the building. And then they shoot out windows below them to just fall in the building and slide the other direction through a whole office complex. But they catch themselves on like live power lines
Like,
and other
this
crap
works-
like that.
This works in a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
But like not in this.
Yeah.
There should have been quick time prompts. On this.
Yeah.
Yeah. This would be a
Press X. Okay.
This is the video game for Spider-Man 2.
this would be a great motion simulator ride at Universal, but like you're just sitting there going like no. Then fucking Soundwave or Shockwave, I'm sorry, I can't tell them apart. Shows up and is like, "Oh, I got a big ass worm. Worm, give the building a hug." The worm's like, "Anaconda squeeze," and squishes the building so it falls over, and the building just falls on top of another building. All building parts stay intact. And they're like clinging to girders. It's like, no, that's not how buildings work. They would just fucking collapse.
Not to be indelicate here, but
Yeah.
this is after 9/11.
Yep.
We know that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Why would
yeah.
you ever make this
He
a
does. He doesn't care.
You saying 9/11 was a Decepticon job?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was a hoax.
Those planes were Transformers.
There's probably some edit of some Transformers script where that fucking happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Like,
Yeah, well, that was a Decepticon looking like a plane that flew in there. Yeah.
I would almost be willing to bet that was the next movie, and that's why they were finally just like, Michael Bay, maybe sit this one out.
Let's try a different direction.
Let's go back to the 80s.
I'm sorry. Hasbro said they're not making Talabot figures.
So
Carbomia.
He would bring back Carbomia.
all right, so
I
now
hate this movie.
Optimus Prime's just like, all right, I'm doing everything myself here. He just flies by now on a jetpack that he had in his trailer, I guess. And it's like a second of him being cool. He decapitates the worm. He flies off, and then he's stuck in cables for like half an hour.
Like the rest of the movie, basically.
Yeah.
He gets caught in a spider's web. It's just,
Yeah.
fuck.
And I mean, he's like Aslan Prime. I'm referring to him as the rest, because he's like, you watch a bunch of other characters try really hard to do something, failed, and Optimus Prime shows up 5 seconds, it's fixed, then he's gone, and then it's just like watching a whole bunch of other characters fail for a while. It gave me the Narnia vibes. But anyway, he's just stuck in cables now. You're like, yeah, it's my hero.
they even go back to him later, still in the
Still in
cables.
the cables, yeah.
Well, yeah, because like we go like another 20 minutes of a bunch of Autobots dying and shit, and it's just like, why isn't Optimus saving them? And we have to cut back to show you it's because he's still getting cut out of these fucking wires.
Yeah, so now you got half the other characters busy trying to free him from this crap.
Yeah. So now you get this pointless scene where like a bunch of Ospreys show up and deploy paratroops, but they're not paratroops; they're wingsuit troops.
God, this was.
And like how you're dropping it with any kind of combat loadout while you're in that suit and expecting it to do anything, I don't know. But they fly around for a while, and you actually get a halfway decent chase scene of like a Decepticon gunship chasing these guys flying in the suits, and then they fly through the wreckage of a building, and the Decepticon thing can't fit and blows up. And I was like, you know what, movie? That's fine. That's fine.
That is kind of fine, but it's also a problem of this going on too long, because I was like, are you telling me like gunship can't outrun these guys? Mm-hmm. Bullshit.
It's that gunship it's never shown to be fast. I'll say that.
As cool as that scene might have been, how they got there was not worth it.
Yeah.
It's how they got to that point made the whole scene pointless for me.
This is just the, we need to have at least a few times where Michael Bay can jerk off thinking about the army.
Yeah, and the army's like, hey,
Yeah.
put in a few couple scenes.
It's not anywhere near as bad as it was in the second movie, but it's still bad.
Well, that's how he gets all that stuff for free.
Yeah. So fucking things are just happening now, and you're like, I don't understand why this happened.
Correct.
But so Sam was given some tools from Q, which is one of the Autobots that looks like a scary, desiccated zombie.
He has like white hair and shit.
Yeah. It looks like
the ghost
guy,
of Albert Einstein.
the guy from Indiana Jones that chose the wrong Grail and shriveled up. Like, it looks like him.
It does kind of look.
So
He also weirdly, and this is not that I had trouble with it per se, but like in the first one, I did question a while. Like the guy Brains, I thought was his headmaster because they look an awful lot alike. They both have hair tendrils for some reason, but it just that's
never
not that.
brought
Well,
up.
he
Yeah.
is his headmaster.
No, all right. Were those little things, those freaking add-on transport Autobots that were from the toys? Remember the toys had a little mini robot you can...
Like minicons?
Were they supposed to be those? Was that what they supposed to be?
I mean, were they supposed to be anything is the question?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Sorry for those that aren't Transformer nerds. Headmasters was the series where you'd have a Transformer, it'd be a car or whatever, and it would transform into a robot, but the robot wouldn't have a head. Instead, the car would have a little driver, and the driver would transform into the head and click off.
Yeah.
and you'd lose the fucking little guy.
Yeah,
and you just
probably.
have a headless transformer running around.
They could swap out to different ones and
Yep.
gave them different
Is it one
powers.
here, Rob? Or are they in storage? You don't have to get it. I'm just curious.
Anyway,
There's a lot of
You
Transformers.
call
in here.
yourself a Transformers
Anyway, I feel almost like at least Brains was probably supposed to be the headmaster to this guy or something, but much like other Transformers stuff, Michael Bay's like, I'll put it in there because you told me to, but I don't care, so I'm not going to do anything with it.
What did Q even transform into?
We don't know. We
don't know.
We don't know.
I don't think we ever see it.
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of the same way in one of the other ones. I won't even try to think of it right now. There is a triple changer. They never mention it. It's only if you're really paying attention that you notice the same guy turns into two different things at different points. It's just, he was told to put it in, so
You're
he
not
did.
talking about Drift, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you see multiple times he turns from a car into a helicopter into a robot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, again, that could be because it goes by in such a way I couldn't tell.
All right. So there's two stupid things happen with Q real quick. Like 1, 2, like the Michael Bay combo stupid punch. He's like, here's some urban warfare tools. 1, grapple rod. You're like, fuck, don't want it. But, of course they take it. 2, like, here are these boomsticks, bombs that you could plant on Decepticons and blow. Why now? Why is that not standard issue?
He never even says he just says boomsticks. He never even tells you how to use them.
Yeah.
Also, they, as Brian pointed out earlier, they had the grapple rods while they were in that building.
Yeah. Yep. And why, like, on that...
Now, just so you know, Sam Witwicky has the same, tactical layout as Link.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a hook shot. He's got his bombs.
A boomerang.
Yeah, so...
Trusty boomerang.
Now Starscream shows up to attack Sam and Carly, who have separated from everyone else. Why is Starscream's face split open? He's like the guy
oil for
from from Cannibals the Musical, like, you looking at my eye, spraying stuff out.
Spraying green shit at everything.
Yeah, he's just leaking fluid out his face.
From the second movie on, they just had all the Transformers just spewing fluid and smoke and whatever.
But we see him earlier in the movie, he's fine.
No, this is just...
He was still
he was
spitting a lot when he was
Yeah.
talking to Megatron.
And I think you might have also not noticed it because Megatron was spewing all over the place.
They're just all
And
gross.
Slimer was spewing.
Megatron is not one to be outshone by Starscream. He's like, you're going to spew stuff from your head.
Yeah, but this literally is just Michael Bay liked the idea
Yeah.
or something, so he's like...
So everyone does it.
Yeah, hey, remember in Batman Returns how Penguin just starts spewing up oil at some points? Let's do that for everybody.
So, all right, Starscream. So Sam's like, I got a grapple rod to the eye.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Great shot.
what I'd try, I guess. But yeah, great shot. Just first shot gets it, no problem. So now he's just stuck to his face, essentially.
Well, they cartoon it.
By,
They
like,
just stuck
a
to
20-foot.
face.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So now this hook shot doesn't pull you up. It just fires a cord. Because he doesn't know how to work it.
That's the thing. He doesn't know how to work it.
Yeah.
It probably does a whole lot. He just has no idea how to
All right,
use
so he gets thrown into a laundromat. Colonel Lennox shows up. He's like, I'm not going to do anything. Sam gets the boomstick out of his bag, gets pulled back onto Starscream, shoves the boomstick in his other eye. So now Starscream's blind.
If you couldn't tell, he shouts, I can't see, repeatedly.
Yeah. He also rubs his face against the ground for some reason, like a dog rubbing its ass on the carpet. Like, I don't know what that's about.
I mean, he's trying to get stuff out of his
Yeah.
eyes, I guess.
I don't know.
Is that how you get stuff out of your eyes?
So
No, because I'm not an idiot made by
yeah,
Michael
I'd
Bay.
try my hand first, but
Or are you?
I'm not Starscream. So now just hijinks ensue. Colonel Lennox tries to help Sam, who doesn't let go of the grapple thing or whatever, or try to take it off. He's like, cut it, this Cybertronian cord with a knife.
Which he does eventually.
I
which
guess,
works,
yeah.
I guess.
So Starscream now is like dancing around blind. Like, he's like, I'll kick you. And he's like throwing these like Napoleon Dynamite air kicks. And finally they just get cut off. Like, they cut the cord, they fall off. Starscream's head blows up. He's dead. And then Bumblebee comes out of nowhere and catches him. Which is funny because, like, next time you see Bumblebee, he's captured. And no idea how.
Does.
Yeah. So now fucking
Q dies.
yeah. There's some bullshit with like the Decepticons have this like Protoss carrier that all the gunships go to, and the little robots go up in there and like Jar Jar Binks that shit. And
They literally Anakin Skywalker it.
Yeah.
He did the same
That's
fucking
right.
thing.
They Anakin Skywalker it, and it
That's
crashes.
Pod race.
So,
God damn it.
yeah, the
Oh man.
so now 4 of the Autobots are captured somehow. They just are. Like, you haven't seen these Autobots for a while. You're like, it's not a lot of Transformers in this Transformer movie, and the ones we see kind of suck.
I have to.
So-
I have to interject here for just a second, listeners at home. If you can just see the dejected
It's bad.
pile of people at this table, there is not an unslumped shoulder in the room. It's pretty awful. Continue on to this.
So, fucking some Navy SEALs arrive. Whatever, doesn't matter. There's more soldiers there. It really doesn't matter too much. Sentinel activates the sky
Nothing matters in
bridge.
this movie.
Yeah. Fires up the sky laser. Cybertron just appears next to Earth. And
It's
you're
like-
like, everyone's dead.
It's like imagine a big space butthole trying to take a shit.
Yeah.
And Cybertron's
Like a
crowding.
hemorrhoid.
Yeah.
I was like, just kind of imagine the view from the toilet as your ass just.
Yeah, that's what's just trying to happen.
And it is a brown hexagonal turd.
Yeah.
It's essentially Cybertron.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Soundwave has decided to start killing prisoners.
No. Dylan tells him to.
Yeah, Dylan
He's
tells
like,
him.
it's no longer business. It's personal. Execute the prisoners.
That's right.
Which also, yeah, I didn't even think like. Oh, fucking
Why
never mind.
Soundwave didn't immediately just go like, don't talk to me, filth, and stepped on him.
That
You know your place.
And
Yeah.
so Q gets one of his 3 lines in the whole movie, which is,
please don't shoot me in the
yeah.
back.
I think they're going to kill us.
He's like, yo, we
Kill you.
surrendered. We're your prisoners. And then he just gets shot down.
Soundwave just
Cybertron-
Gunned down.
Soundwave just yeets him.
Cybertron comes halfway through the portal in like 2 seconds, yet then spends the rest of the hour trying to make the rest of the way.
Yeah,
Never
but
mind.
Bumblebee puts his big boy pants on and just punch shoots Soundwave.
So you can't, I guess you can't take the Autobots' guns that are built into them out of them.
yeah,
So Bumblebee's like, I still have my weapons.
yeah.
I'm going to fight you.
Well, he was gonna get blown up until the big cruiser thing started falling apart.
Yeah, that's when
yeah.
the carrier started like dropping the
And
gunships
this thing
out
looks
of it.
like the thing from the first Avengers movie. The
It
big-
does.
Yeah.
the big
Chitauri.
Chitauri, yeah.
It's a cross between that and the Protoss carrier from StarCraft.
Yeah.
All right.
Have we seen Protoss done well anywhere? No, right?
No, I don't think so.
Stargate tried, but didn't
Yeah.
quite accomplish it.
So, now Bumblebee just kills Soundwave, and the other Autobots there kill the rest of the Decepticons. And now, like, we see for once, like, some actual, like, good tactics by the Nest people against the Transformers, where they're like, hey, why don't we shoot these guys in their eyes? And when they're bumbling around like, oh, my eyes, let's just run up and put big bombs on them. Like, you know.
What if they
Sound
kick
tactics.
us, sir?
Yeah.
Why haven't we thought of this ages ago?
And then
It's okay. They'll warn you if they're going to kick you.
they do the essentially, like, the paratroopers come in and essentially do the throw sheet over it and it will think it's nighttime tactic, which surprisingly effective on Shockwave.
He just falls asleep.
Yeah. And they just shoot at Shockwave with assault rifles, I guess, till he runs out of hit points and explodes. Like, he just dies somehow.
No, Optimus comes in and beats the shit out of him.
No, that's, what you call it? That is a different person. Soundwave, like, because I have seen that part twice. Soundwave just explodes. Just,
Yeah, and then Tyrese shouts out, "We got that one." Or something
yeah.
like
He's like, we got it.
Okay, all right.
that. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
So,
Tyrese's
yeah.
movie.
So
All right.
Optimus shows up. He does some cool, like, transform, stab you with sword, shoot you, kill a few Decepticons. And you're like, can we just get more Optimus? And then for like 45 minutes, they've been trying to shoot this fucking pillar that controls the laser bridge thing. And Optimus is just like, boom, just one shot, no problem.
I think he was like,
that's not Shockwave? Because he literally grabs his gun, like Shockwave's gun arm and fires it.
It don't matter.
And he uses his big line.
yeah, the point
You die.
yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
You might be right.
I
I
might
may
be
be
crazy.
crazy. But this is not the movie I've been hoping for.
Yeah.
The point is, Optimus just some quick parkour moves while firing at this pillar, and it shuts it down. Cool.
All right, so now Optimus is like, Sentinel, get down here. We got to have our
just
fight.
quickly, so he shuts the pillar off, so it stops the portal.
Yeah.
But half of Cybertron is still hanging there, which means I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cybertron is cut in half right now.
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
Yep.
Which you would think would put an end to all.
So that right there, yeah, the whole point's moot. Like the planet, it's fucked now.
Yeah, you remember how it's dead? Now it's 2 dead planets. Fucking stop.
Now it's double dead.
Yeah.
All right, so now Optimus is like, get down here, Sentinel. Let's have this fight.
Which really makes you wonder where all the Transformers from the following movies come from, but all right.
So Sentinel's like, hold on, I have to get my dumbass double-bladed one-handed sword, which gives you no advantage at all.
It's the one that Thanos has in
Thanos
Endgame.
blade.
At least Sentinel did not twirl it like a helicopter to block a beam attack. But yeah. All right, so they have a fight.
I'm okay with those kind of attacks, those kind of blocks. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too.
Not with one hand.
I don't give a fuck, Joe. I'm okay.
When you got the Infinity Stones,
Yeah.
it's okay. You can do what you want.
Well, that also because there's the way he's doing it. Most likely, his hand would be in the middle. And
I don't
there's no
care.
hand guard,
I don't
so
care.
the beam
Yeah.
would hit his hand.
I don't care.
Yeah, okay,
I don't care.
fair enough.
Let's get this over.
So yeah.
Yes.
So they're having their little fight. I did like the one shot from the perspective of one of the soldiers, like looking down the gun barrel, trying to shoot an assault rifle.
Rob's fucking
at
clipping his fingernails.
what's his name, Sentinel. I don't know why he's firing an assault rifle at him, but I liked the shot.
Because they just have to
Yeah.
try.
So
I guess.
all right. Sam's like, hey, Dylan, don't reactivate the pillar. I'm going to try to stop you. Dylan just kicks him in the face and reactivates the pillar.
By slapping it.
But yeah, but just by touching it, reactivates the pillar. So more of Cybertron's coming back. It's not cut in half. Whatever.
See, what it was like the laser is like the effort of you pushing that turd out.
Yeah.
And then like when it stopped, you just like trying to catch your breath. You're like,
Yeah, that's where you have to take a break in the middle of it. That's where even my atheist ass evokes Jesus to try to get the turd out.
I promise, Jesus, I'll never eat Taco Bell again. Just get me through it.
Adjust your ass cheeks on the bowl. Like you gotta pull one
Yeah,
out here. Like,
that's right.
please,
Try to spread it.
please suction my ass.
Then you get up and walk around the bathroom.
You're like
Full
thinking
tank,
about
so-
some new tactics you're going to try.
Yeah, which also I missed it, but whatever goodwill I was talking about before with Dylan's character is kind of gone now because he's just like, I'm gonna actively help the Decepticons.
you ever have any goodwill? Like,
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it was one thing when it was like, they're forcing me to do this,
Yeah.
and now it's like I'm telling them to murder people.
You're still like, I like this guy better than Sam.
Oh yeah.
Well, even afterwards, it's still
Oh
so
yeah. Throughout all of it, I
And
like
that's the thing,
it
because it's like in your head, you're like, all right, well, he's talking about how he inherited this, he didn't want it. You're like, maybe he'll turn and like he'll be the one to destroy the pillar.
Yeah.
thing.
But no, Michael Bay cannot have that because
too much
he's
character
a
development.
beta and Sam is an alpha, and Sam's gonna kick his ass.
She doesn't even do a great job with that. Till he
No,
finally grabs a weapon, like a pole with some concrete on it.
Yeah,
All right, so
kills this man.
now some Tomahawks come in and they start blowing up some Decepticon shit. And like, I'll give you, the Decepticons could have cool armor and it can withstand a Tomahawk missile. No problem. But if you ever see what a Tomahawk missile does when it hits something, like everyone participating in that battle that's human is dead. Like the explosions are massive. Like these things just come in like little like pop. For movies
Again,
that
it's convenient.
that get by on like huge explosions and loud action, it's not really giving you any of
Not
that.
only that, but all these Transformers are made out of like paper mache.
Yeah. So, all right. Now, the explosive debris is raining around Carly in slow motion, who just has the fucking emptiest, vacant look on her face. Even though she's actually coming up with a smart plan. She's like, oh, look.
Well,
it's
that's what it takes. She's
fucking-
gonna stand
yeah.
there for 5 solid minutes.
Well, that's true. You saw it. That was the progress bar in her
You didn't see
brain
it.
loading.
she's like, I've seen my boyfriend get jealous as fuck over
Yeah.
some dumbass shit. Let's see if Megatron is the same how dumbass my boyfriend is.
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet Megatron's masculinity is quite fragile. So, let's go attack that.
Of course it is.
So yeah, he just finds Megatron just sitting in an alleyway, sulking like a.
Nobody.
Now, in fairness, someone just reached into his brain and pulled part of it out. So, he probably does have to sit down for a minute.
It's fair. Suppose that's fair.
You may not have a choice. I no longer can stand.
Yeah. So,
Also, I'm sorry, but I'm leaking some kind of lubricant.
she's
I
just
don't
like.
mean to do that.
So yeah, you're not going to be in charge. Sentinel's going to be in charge, right? And he's like, no, I'm going to be in charge.
No, he's not.
And then she's just like, you're going to be Sentinel's bitch. And it's like, and, Megatron's like, I'm going to fucking kill him. I'll fight him anywhere. And come on, blah, blah, blah. And gets up, like he's going to punch her, decides not to, and just runs off.
Why? Why? For the love of God, why?
So Megatron's balls drop into place. And at this point, Sentinel and Optimus are fighting, and Sentinel gets the better of the exchange and cuts Optimus's arm off.
Which I just want to point out.
Yeah.
At this point, Optimus is begging for his life.
Yep.
That will be important in a moment.
Yes. So Megatron just beats the ever-living shit out of Sentinel Prime. And that part was actually kind of cool. He's like pulling pieces off of him, slamming him around.
He's like,
rips his helmet off.
This is my planet now. Like,
Yeah. And honestly, though, I can't tell who's saying we need a truce, who's saying I just want to be in charge.
idea.
No one's lips are moving.
Everybody's just growling.
There's dialogue, but honestly, I don't know which of these
all the
three
voices are
characters is saying
too
it.
close to each other to
Yeah.
tell them apart.
All true, but I do know who is doing it, which is also an important part
Yeah.
of this, which is Megatron saying we need a truce.
Yeah.
We need to stop Sentinel and all these pillars. To which Optimus says, fuck that, and rips his face off.
Yeah. Just
his
shoves
axe.
his battle axe in his face
Yeah.
and pulls the whole face out. He Sub-Zeros him. He pulls his spine out,
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
And
He predators him.
yeah.
This is for jazz.
So yeah, that's the first person saying, I want peace, which Optimus said, you're getting an axe to the face.
Yeah.
So then Optimus should have said for Jazz, like,
Something that
you'll
rhymes.
get pieces.
something.
That's what he's like,
I'll tear
Optimus,
him in half.
what would you be without me? And Optimus is like, let's find
Find
out
out.
and murder you.
That's kind of cool.
Now, mind you, Sentinel
Like
just got
Optimus
the
Prime.
shit kicked out of him, is in no condition to fight. And he's like, forgive me, Optimus. Everything I did for the for the good of our people. Optimus is like, I'm done talking.
Fuck that.
I have a shotgun for some reason.
Shoots him in the face. Shoots him right in the face.
It's a big Cybertronian shotgun. He even cocks it one-handed. Like,
It's Megatron's shotgun.
Yeah. And
Point
double
blank.
taps his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even
yeah.
like the one and let me, maybe you live, maybe we take you prisoner. No, double taps his ass.
Yeah, or, I'll put you out of your misery. Nothing. Just, no, you need to die, motherfucker. You need to die now.
Yeah.
And I like, at this point, this new metal starts kicking in. Like, oh yeah, this is it's almost like the theme song to Terminator. Like, Optimus is ready to kill. Yeah.
So Optimus Prime, this entire movie has just been, he's either been pissed or he's just been making grunty noises or he's been killing people. And he's been saying things like, I'm going to kill you. You need to die.
Yep.
Not like, hey, let's talk about this or hey, let's.
Or freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
We
or
skipped the second one, so God, I hope
there's
we never
a
have to
thin
go back
line
to.
between being a hero and being a memory.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, this is why when we reviewed the first one, I made mention of that. Like they had
cried.
that too. They had a poll for all the Transformer fans to vote on what is the one thing Optimus is saying that you want in there, and they didn't pick Transform and Roll Out. I think that got in there anyway, and whatever. What they picked was freedom is the right of all sentient beings, and then he just starts murdering everyone. And now this is his former mentor who is on the ground. I don't even think he has arms anymore. Half his face is gone, and he's begging for his life. and Optimus just shoots him in the face.
In the back.
Yeah.
In the back. Well, the face
back
and
then
the
the
back.
face. Yeah. So, yeah, and like literally, it went from like he's this paradigm of good that only kills when he has to in the course of a mission to then this movie, like the music that's playing and everything, it's just like Optimus Prime as the biggest dick,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like,
Yeah, it's literally, it should all be about Optimus being like, yeah, our planet's dead and that sucks. If we can revive it, great. If not, let's find somewhere else. But Decepticons, you guys should just like stop attacking us and let's all figure out a way to survive together. This one, he's just like, you're wearing purple, you need to die.
yeah. Also,
and dry.
in true Michael Bay fashion, like everything is extra. But one thing I noticed in this movie, beside, like, I'll give you that the Decepticons should leak fluids because, you know, maybe there's oil, there's fluids in there, they're living beings. But everything is a pinata of just parts. Like when you kill a Decepticon, it just rains like nuts and bolts, not attached to anything. There's just parts in there.
Yeah, well, on that note, it's like Optimus is standing there, the blood of his former comrade Megatron and his mentor Sentinel Prime just all over the place, their bodies strewn about. And Sam and Carly just start making out. And Bumblebee's like, "Oh, let me sift through the wreckage of these two Cybertronians for a ring you can put on your."
You want me to transform so you can make out on my hood again?
Yeah.
I'm really into that.
Yeah.
Or just do it on those corpses over there. Just
Yep.
defile them with your seed.
No.
And they're like, fire up the Lincoln Park, end the movie, go. But they're like, oh, wait, we got to have some kind of after credits scene. Sexual assault.
Yeah.
John Turturro.
Yeah. Samson, who was thrown from a moving vehicle in the highway chase scene, he just comes over in his wheelchair and just knocks the intelligence director down in his lap and just makes out with her. And then she gets up and is like, arrest him. He's like, totally worth it. I'll go to jail for that. No regrets.
So, like, apparently they hooked up at some point in the past, and
It doesn't matter.
They mentioned it somewhere in the movie. It's real quick. It's real quick.
Well, now he's getting dragged on Twitter. All right, so wrap it up.
We all hated it. We all would never watch it again.
Don't speak for me.
Oh, fine.
All right, that's the movie. Tony, do you have deets on this, or is I mean, we know it's not good. We know that. We know the consensus is not good.
Oh, you almost got smacked in the head, Tony. Oh, bug lit it right on your head.
Yeah, there's like a little gnat or something flying
It
around
was in my face and it landed on your head. I was like, I was gonna smack it. But
in our studio. We decided there was a lot of sugar.
You know,
We're so sweet.
I have so many good things going on right now. Why not add to it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's get a bug in here.
You can just guess. I mean, that's fine.
Well, you're looking for
I mean, it made
the
$1
ratings.
billion, so
It
probably has a high rating.
I know on Rotten Tomatoes, it is definitely still rotten, but it's the second highest rated of the 5.
Yeah, which probably is
Yeah,
like
behind the first.
35% or something.
Yeah, I think it was like a 35 or somewhere in that area.
Is it 35%?
Yeah, according to RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave this a score of 35%. Audience gave this a score of 55%. That's their thoughts and opinions. What about you and yours, Will? You've been talking a bit.
Hated it. Never see it again.
Hated it.
Is that your official?
Well,
Men
especially
on
since
film?
like over the last year we've done some other Transformers stuff like the Patreon, and I've gotten a little more knowledgeable of the lore, and you guys have talked to me more about it. It makes me like hate it even more than I did previously, because there's some cool Transformer stuff out there, and there's like some cool storytelling and cool characters, and it's just like shit's all over it.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I trust no one at this point to direct this movie, but the story Rob was talking about with the wreckers, I get that it would probably be difficult to do because it's probably too steeped in some of the lore and be tough for, you know, non-Transformer fans to be thrown into it. But
No, there's ways around it because it doesn't really handhold you too much. Like, I didn't know really any of those characters going in. I figured it out.
Yeah, but I mean, but you at least know Transformers.
Yeah.
I think they want you to be, like your newly formed Babby that just
That's fair.
oozed into the theater, and so
I don't like how they handled Grimlock in that book, but anyway, anybody else? Is anyone at the table recommending this movie? Let's just make it.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you really want to torture yourself and you hate just being around and you want to put yourself in an even darker place, just watch the movie.
Darker.
There's got to be shorter ways to do that.
I would say if somebody is going to force you to watch a Transformers movie, like you have to, this would be the second one you'd pick, I guess.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, and honestly, like if you pick this one versus the first one, it's not that much different. It's like this movie was serviceable compared to 2. And like there's the framework of a decent movie buried behind Michael Bay's incompetence as a director and whoever wrote this movie and whatnot. So I would say, like, if you have to watch a bad Transformers movie, you can't pick Bumblebee. Like, you have to watch one of the 5. Maybe you pick this one. That's the best I can do.
All right. Anybody else have any comments, or shall we just?
This is shit.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well,
Start to finish.
I mean, I think we've said it all already, but I mean, like, just simple things like the Decepticons all look the exact same. Sam does not need to be in the movie. Honestly, if the movie was about Carly discovering Dylan was a traitor, and that's the only 2 human characters that you get, Colonel Lennox could be there too.
That would have been cool.
Yeah,
Carly
that
is
would
a
have been
canon
fine.
Transformers character. Like,
And you shave 45 minutes off of the film, 45 minutes or an hour, and you're fine. Like,
I will also throw in, like, a plus to this movie is they, at a couple points, they do some cool things with the fact that they can transform. God forbid, who would have thought? Where they're doing things like they're driving as cars, and they go over a ramp, they fly, they transform, land on their feet, maybe start running, and then transform back or whatever. Capturing Sam, like throwing him up and transforming to shoot somebody, transform back. Like, that's the kind of stuff I really want to see. But again, because of the style and everything, half the time I can't tell what's happening. So that doesn't get them as far as it should. But at least it's an attempt at something.
yeah.
and the big one though is just your main character is just a terrible person.
Both of them.
He never.
No one.
Sam
no one in this
and
movie.
Optimus Prime are both
No,
terrible.
yeah, no one in this movie.
But you can't call any of the Transformers a main character in this movie because they're all
Prime gets enough screen time that I think he qualifies throughout the franchise.
through the franchise, yeah. But I'm talking just in terms of this movie.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the first movie, there were parts with Sam where I'm like, I'm going to attempt to identify with this character. Like in this one, I'm like, I want this man to get stepped on. And he never redeems himself. He never, he redeems himself in the sense that Michael Bay thinks he does, but he's still just an insufferable twat all the way till the end. And you have no sympathy for him, and he has no likable characteristics at all. Yeah. And then, the fact that you get Optimus Prime wrong, the one character you have to get right. The one, I feel as long as you get Optimus Prime right, you can make mistakes with the other Transformers, and it's still somewhat passable. I think that's one of the things in the first movie. You're like, Optimus Prime at least is mostly correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, you fuck those 2 up, and there's no way your movie can work.
Yeah. Let's all pour out a drink for Ironhide, who passed on after 14 whole minutes of total screen time throughout his 3 movies that he was in. And let's move on, shall we?
Second movie we watched him die in, and somehow there's less. I care less here than I did in the '84 movie.
Tony, behind you is the drawer holding the D20 of fate.
Give it that. Or did we technically skip Brian, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, so I guess Brian should roll.
Yeah, because it should have been you before me.
Didn't you have me roll over the phone one time?
That was a while ago,
Yeah,
wasn't
that
it?
Oh,
was
okay.
recently. So you can.
Motherfucker! If I find out you're the reason.
What are you talking about?
Tony's holding a transformer of something. That is Shockwave, right?
Shockwave.
Oh, I remember.
Who is in the drawer with the die?
Oh, he's fucking with it. Yeah, this ain't gonna go well. Do we got the list ready?
List is ready. Yep.
So I'm rolling? Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, I'll do it.
Fire at will.
It's a 4.
Close.
Number 4.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, nice.
The Fifth Element.
Not bad. Not
That'll be
bad.
fun.
Multipass.
That's a quite a treat after this.
I mean, anything's a treat after this.
I know.
Joseph Galvin multipass.
I don't remember enjoying The Fifth Element that much, but
I don't know if I would classify it as a Rob movie, but
It's
it
not.
has some cool things in it.
Chris Tucker.
I mean, Chris Tucker's
Ruby Rod, motherfucker.
fine. I don't know. I think the whole
Multipass.
the
All
world
right,
of
so
it.
that's
all
next
of it.
time, though.
I
We'll deal with
watched,
that then.
I watched UHF recently.
It's past Rob's bedtime. We gotta go. Wrap it up.
Definitely past my bedtime.
Do your blurb.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please subscribe. Please tell your friends. Please write stories. Do fanfics. You can ship any one of us. It's fine.
Someone who actually likes this movie, explain how.
Yeah, explain yourself. Defend yourself.
Defend yourself.
Come at us, bro.
Send us your concept art of what you think we look like, or
Oh,
what
jeez,
look like as
stop.
Transformers.
All right, you can find all of
Whatever.
our previous episodes at
Toady is wrapping a charger cord around his fist,
He is
getting ready to punch
Brass
you.
Knuckles.
I'm getting ready to punch myself.
the4mpodcast.podbean.com. You can find all of our archives, link to our merchandise, and all that fun stuff. You can consider becoming a patron for extra special stuff like exclusive episodes and just fun little things that we do at patreon.com/4ampodcast. And that's really all you need to know. Just leave us a review on iTunes if you feel so inclined. That'd be really helpful. The more you review us, the more likely we are to be seen by other folks. So that's just a thing you can do to help us out. Doesn't cost anything, just some time. So thank you so much for watching. Join us next time for The Fifth Element, and we will see you all next episode.
Deuces.
Bye.
Roll out.
Good night, everybody. Transform and roll out.